everyone? It's Tuesday, February 12th, 2013. Time for another edition of a little radio show we like to call WZR Radio. I'm Ryan Clark. He's Matt Boone. We're going to be here for the next 2 hours talking pro wrestling, Monday Night Raw from last night. We didn't have any pay-per-views or anything like that over the weekend, so it's kind of a quiet show, but not a quiet day. What you guys were just listening to is there's been a manhunt over the past week or so with a guy in California, former ex-police officer, and basically he was terminated from his job, and threw a fit, basically wrote a 15-page manifesto online and said that he was going to go out and take out the Los Angeles Police Department. And he started this a couple of days ago, went on a rampage, started randomly shooting cops, and they finally confined this guy to a place just outside of Los Angeles, Big Bear Lake. Tito Ortiz, UFC fighter, trains up there, and so that's where you may have heard the name before, but they got him today. And he showed up on a roadblock and shot 2 police officers, and then they had him confined to a cabin, and about an hour ago the cabin caught on fire, and it's been engulfed in flames ever since, and nobody knows what's going on. So that was crazy. It's a crazy story. So,
if you take the guns away from the guy, I'd kick his ass in 2 seconds.
Yeah, the first words out of his mouth are, "I'd kick his ass in 2 seconds." What's going on, man? Dude, it's a crazy story, man. I mean, this guy's just a
I was wondering, it's funny, because I call in and I'm expecting music or something wrestling related, and I hear, some random cabin shooting fire thing, and I'm like, didn't even hesitate for a second. I'm like, yeah, I got the right number. I guarantee you Ryan's putting this shit on the pre-show or whatever the fuck it is. I always thought it was a local story, because I'm like, well, dude, why? This must be a huge story, because otherwise, somebody's getting shot and killed every week at 7 o'clock to 8 p.m. Somebody's dying right now.
Yeah.
Somebody who lived a very long, happy, healthy life. They have a wife and kids. They just died from cancer right now. Yeah. You know what I mean? Every fucking second someone's died, so why are we broadcasting this one?
Well, you know what? Like I said earlier, basically this guy... He was, let me run it down real quick. All we got tonight is Raw, and then we're going to do live phone calls, and, the rapid fire in hour number 2. But
we got to talk about the Olympics, too. That was shocking. I just heard about that a couple hours ago.
I've got it in the show file. I can't believe that, man.
Okay, cool.
Wait.
What's going on with this Big Bear? It used to be Oscar De La Hoya's training facility, too, where he bought it from. That's how people would know it.
Okay, all right, no doubt. Boxing or UFC fan. I know a lot of MMA fighters go up there and train because, it's high,
the altitude.
Altitude, exactly. But no, this guy got fired a couple of years ago, right? So he writes this manifesto, and he came out and he praised Charlie Sheen. He said, "Charlie, you're the fucking man." And a bunch of different celebrities he just went out and praised, and basically said that anybody that's associated with the Los Angeles Police Department, whether it be them, whether they're a current cop, a former cop, all of their families, he was going after them. So he started this rampage, a couple of days ago. It's been all over the national news, and they found his truck, and it was up in Big Bear Lake, and it had a broken axle. The truck had a broken axle, and he had, I guess, started it on fire. So they found the burnout truck with a broken axle. So they figured, this guy's got to be somewhere around Big Bear Lake, or they were thinking, this guy's a former cop and he's been trained, so he knows, bro. He knows what's going on. He knows how to evade authorities. So there's
Is there snow on the ground over there? No, not in California.
They had a big storm 2 days ago, and that hampered efforts. They got about a foot of new snow up there in Big Bear, so that hampered their efforts. So a couple of days went by, and they had, he had shot a couple of different cops and shot some random different people, killed 2 cops, something like that, and wounded another 4 or 5. Then there was a break in the action. Nothing happened for a couple of days. Almost like, I'm going to chill out for a little bit. I know there's a massive manhunt. I'll chill out and then I'll come back. Well, today, I guess, the details are still coming out, but I guess he tied up a couple and stole their vehicle. And as he was driving, he hit a roadblock. And when he got to the roadblock, the cops came up to the vehicle to check. They were checking all vehicles, and he pulled out a gun and shot both of those cops, and then fled into the woods. And when he fled into the woods, they confined him to this cabin, and inside the cabin earlier today at about noon, 1 o'clock this afternoon, he was firing at the cops from inside. He was inside the cabin, and he's firing on the outside. So there was a massive gunfight. And eventually, I think, it's getting dark out in California right now. They're about 3 hours behind. So they threw in some flash grenades and smoke bombs and everything else. I mean, this guy went to a scuba diving store. He bought scuba diving stuff in the event that, police would tear gas him. He knew what he was doing because he's a former cop. So if they were going to tear gas him, he was going to put on the scuba diving gear and everything else to try to avoid that and say, basically laugh in their face saying, fuck you, dude, tear gas ain't going to do nothing. I'm fucking loaded, dude. I got oxygen and everything else, So anyways, they confined him to this cabin. And just about an hour or two ago, the cabin went up in flames. And they were thinking, did this guy set the cabin on fire to try to escape? And they had the cabin surrounded, cops had this thing surrounded, so there was no way to escape. And it went up in flames.
I was going to say, is the guy an arsonist too? Because you said he left some vehicle blown up on fire, and then he blew up the cabin. Got to be some reason he's setting all this shit on fire.
He was a former Navy member, and they said that he was really, really well trained with guns and everything else. But the cabin went up in flames, and that's kind of where we're at right now. Ammunition from inside the cabin has been exploding, so firefighters can't get close. They don't want to bring firefighters in anyways because it's going to shoot at them. But this cabin is basically falling to the ground right now. It's done. I mean, there's no more cabin.
Maybe in my head I'm trying to think of why he would be setting all this shit on fire. Maybe it's like...
Well, no.
The ammunition blowing up inside. It would be like, all right, well, now they'll be busy with this for a day or two, looking for evidence and trying to find fingerprints and find this and that information, and I'll be in the meanwhile fucking
right. But they
down the road.
They had the place surrounded. So by setting the cabin on fire, it basically creates a lot of black, thick smoke. And the hope for him would be to try to, run through that smoke and get him. But they've got people in the woods. They've got people outside the cabin. There's no way this guy's getting away. So I don't know, man. That's where we're left off. I mean, you guys were listening on the pre-show. I had KTLA, which is the main station out of Los Angeles. We're left, and he shot the two cops today. One of them's going to be okay. The other one, unfortunately, passed away. They announced about an hour ago. But we're seeing photos now of, this cabin, which is completely engulfed in flames with explosions and everything else coming out. So, is the guy dead?
Is this like a mainstream story or just something on CNN you're marking out over?
No, this is a national story. I mean, they've had a massive manhunt for the past week for this guy.
I don't have internet or TV here, so I'm basically like a fucking homeless person, so I don't know what's going on in the world. But
I mean, he's got to be dead.
I gotta say, between the fucking movie theater shooting, the school shooting, and now this psycho, that's fucking... The gun safety issue is never going to go away. I wrote it on Facebook. You just got on my nerves. After the school shooting, everybody was like a fucking gun expert. We need to do this. And he was like, shut up. You don't know any better than anybody else. It's a fucking complicated issue. That's why it's not such an easy thing to just say, well, let's all do this or let's all do that.
Yeah.
But my God, it's like crazy season in America or something. Jesus.
And the guy, I mean, you see the guy and he's smiling in surveillance video from stores where he's buying this. I mean, he seems like a nice guy, and he even said in his manifesto, I don't want to do this. I'm a nice guy. I don't want to do this, but you guys, you forced me into this. I mean, he's got to be dead. There's no way. I mean, think about it this way. There's no way that he got out of the cabin, right? Because they had it surrounded. Now cops are saying they don't know that he's in the cabin, So, what? Nobody knows, nobody knows what the fuck is going on here with us. But it's a crazy story to follow. Everybody's been following. It's all
like
over.
That fucking, you don't watch movies, but it's like that movie The Fugitive, where Harrison Ford's a cop that was wrong and he's like running away, or like Serpico, but like the opposite version.
Yeah, no, it's nutty. So I've got CNN over here. I'm not right on the TV. Obviously I haven't muted, but Anderson Cooper's on. And you know what else? I mean, you've got the State of the Union. President Obama is going to be coming up at 9 o'clock, so we're going to have that here in the next hour or so. So hopefully we get some. I'm guessing he's dead, man. I'm guessing he stayed in. He either shot himself or he burned himself to death. One of the two, but I don't know. I guess we'll find out. If anybody finds out before me or Boone, I mean Boone doesn't have internet or anything, but in the chat room, let me know. Let me know if this guy's dead or alive.
I'm not a bad person because I don't give a shit if he's dead or alive. I don't care.
Yeah, but dude, you gotta admit it's a crazy story. Come on, it's
crazy, and I feel bad for the victims, but I don't give a shit about the story. I'm like so bored with listening to this right now. But what else is going on?
You don't give a shit about anything. You don't follow that.
You look out for fucking a rainstorm and somebody fucking throwing blocks at cops and shit, like, and there's a camera on it. Like, you love that shit. I'm not into it.
You want to talk about a big snowstorm? We had a big snowstorm up here in the Northeast, my man. Last weekend we had Boston got about 3 feet. New York City had 1 to 2 feet.
Could you tell me any good stories about watching paint dry over the weekend? Did you do any of that?
No, but I can tell you a good story about the snowstorm that we had this past weekend. Boston
got you fucking snowflake faggot.
Boston got 2 to 3 feet. New York City had a foot or 2. You know what I'm saying? Albany got about a foot up here. You know, it was a good storm, dude. It was a good storm.
Getting a foot of snow in fucking mid-February, huh?
Well, it is the heart of winter in February, motherfucker. What do you think?
I'm so backwards down here. I don't know when seasons are because like we have one season and it's year round. What the fuck? When does the snow stop up there?
March, later March into April. I mean, normally it doesn't snow in April, but it goes through March, at least February and March, Winter doesn't start. The first day of winter is December 21st, so,
Yeah, but you get snow before then. You get snow in November and shit up there, right?
Right, yeah. It usually starts a lot earlier. Sometimes in October, like late October, November, December,
crazy.
January.
That's like half a year of snow. Fuck that.
So what's up, man? We got something to talk about because last week I was on here, right? Everything was.
I was gonna say, you said we'll be here for the next 2 hours. I'm gonna try and be here for the next 2 hours. I don't want to make any promises after last week.
So everything was going, and I haven't talked to you because you don't have any internet or anything like that, right? No TV, no internet,
phone,
or a phone. So I haven't talked to you, right? So last week we're doing a show. Everything was going good. Hour number 1, we tore it up. We get into hour number 2. About 15, 20 minutes in, poof. You're gone. No more Boone. I said, what the fuck, man? So I got live phone calls, right? I had the rapid fire segment. I continued on. I finished the show. I went to 10 o'clock.
What happened was I did call you back, and then nobody answered, and then the phone died on me, and I didn't have a charger to try again, so I didn't know if you were trying to call me. It didn't really matter because I had no way to...
So here's the deal. I can't, listen. I'm being honest with you guys. I have not talked to Boone all week long. There's no way I could have talked to Boone until right now. So, before we went off the air last week, I kind of speculated. I said, I'm telling you right now, when we come on here next Tuesday night, I'm going to call Boone out on this. You knew I was going to do that, right? And I said, here's what it's going to be. You ready? Boone doesn't have a cell phone. So last week, you were using your sister's cell phone. Right? And you're I know. So you're using your sister's cell phone and you're sitting in your apartment and you basically got nothing in the apartment, nothing. Because you had just moved in.
I got a sheet on the floor.
I'm
staring at it right now.
So I said to these guys last week before we went off the air, I said, Boone's going to come on here next week and he's going to tell me I was using my sister's cell phone. It went out. I didn't have the charger. The charger was at her house. We didn't bring it to the new apartment. So when the phone went out, there was nothing you could do. You couldn't call back. You tried to call back, but you didn't have the charger on you, so there was nothing you could do, so you left me hanging. So am I right?
You're close.
Am I close?
You're close.
Yeah.
There is no other house. Like we were all staying in a hotel. So this is the apartment. There is no other Jamie left at her house. We all live here.
Yeah.
But she has their baby bag, and they weren't here at the time when the phone went off. They go away so it's not loud because the baby screams and cries, and these are very, very light walls. Like you can hear everything in any room in the house.
Yeah.
But I sound like I'm echoing right now. I don't know if you can hear it on the phone, but it sounds like I'm in the bathroom, but I'm in my bedroom.
No. But anyway, so what happened?
But yeah, you pretty much got it. Yeah, the phone cut off out of nowhere. I went to call back, and it cut off after it stopped ringing, and it never rang, but that was because it was dead, and that was it.
That's it. So no charger. So
honestly, there was a charger about 15, 20 minutes after that happened, but there was only like 10 minutes left in the show, and I didn't give a fuck enough to call back. So there's some real honesty for your ass if you want.
Yeah, well, when it comes time to payment, dude, or later this month, man, I'm not gonna give a fuck. I'm not gonna give a fuck about sending you a MoneyGram or whatever the hell I send, dude.
Yeah.
Wow.
I thought I was fired anyway. What happened to that?
Well, you're about to be because you haven't done a gallery in at least 10 days. I've been holding it down. You know what I'm saying, dude?
More than 10 days, brother. It's been
yeah.
Shit, I got it at the hotel, and I got it at the hotel in January. So it's been like 2 weeks.
I've been doing the galleries. I've been holding it down. You know, I gotta take
care.
it.
Yeah, there was a picture of the Undertaker with some fucking something. What the fuck was it called? Yesterday before Raw.
Oh, Taker was at a hockey game on Sunday night. The thing about that, though, is, I mean, we put it up on the website. I mean, everybody, here's the thing, man. When you get photos, right? All right, Raw was in Nashville, Tennessee last night. So we got photos the night before of Taker at a hockey game just outside of Nashville, or it might have even been Memphis, one of the two. Taker owns a home down in Tennessee somewhere, right? So when you put up a report like that online, you know, The Undertaker spotted near the site of tonight's Monday Night Raw, everybody automatically assumes Taker's going to be on Raw tonight. So inside the post, dude, big bold letters, I said, do not take this as confirmation that Taker's get. The dude owns a house in Tennessee. It's probably likely that the dude's at his house. He lives there. He attended a hockey game. Not going to be on Raw tonight. And then when he doesn't show up, everybody comes out to, you were wrong, you were blah, blah, blah. It's like, yo.
I hate when that happens.
Yo.
They call you out on a report you didn't write and shit. Like Piper. Remember when Piper was telling you how fucking wrong you were about everything?
My
like,
God,
nothing he
dude.
said was Steven said.
Yeah,
But,
it's ridiculous.
No, I remember hearing the story. The only reason I'm even able to stay in contact with wrestling even a little bit is my sister's phone. I have to walk up to the Home Depot. They got free Wi-Fi, and I won't plug the website, but I download this radio show off the website every day. I have to walk all the way up there, download it, come back, transfer it to my phone, and then that's my entertainment every day.
Well, how about
that's how I know what's going on.
How about getting?
I heard The Rock name drop like Jeff Jarrett last night. Cut a promo about crackheads and buying cars and shit. I got a little information in my brain here.
Yeah, the promo last night about the crackheads, dude, and he kept saying crackhead over and over and over again during his promo, and I'm thinking, Jesus, dude, what is going on right? And then
true story.
Not only that, but
that's that story it's all about.
Yeah, we'll get into it when we run down Raw. Dutch Mantel also came back as Jack Swagger's manager, man, former TNA creative team member. He came back, and you know it got a little bit racist there. You know what it was? Dateline NBC did this big special on I think it was Saturday or Sunday night. They did this big special about immigrants and anti-immigration and everything else, right? Somebody on WWE's creative team went and watched that special, and they came up with a bright idea to have Dirty Dutch come out on Monday Night Raw and then base the gimmick off, you know, anti-immigration and everything else, man. So Jack Swagger
look like Yosemite Sam with like black hair and a black beard instead of red, or
who the fuck is Yosemite Sam? Oh, who?
Yosemite Sam, the guy from Looney Tunes, the fucking bad guy with the guns and shit.
Yosemite Sam?
Dude, Google Yosemite Sam. You're gonna feel dumb as shit when you see the little picture.
Yosemite Sam.
That's how it sounds. Phonetically spell that shit. Google images and then look at it.
It's a cartoon character.
Yeah.
Yeah, so does he look like him?
Doesn't Dutch Mantel look like him with the beard and the mustache hanging down and all that shit?
No.
Yes, he does. You're a crackhead. Put the pipe down.
Get the fuck out of here, dude.
Go buy a $7 car, quit hitting that crack rock, and
you're comparing a human being to a Yosemite Yosemite Sam?
Motherfucker, what do I say you look like? Every time I try and draw comparisons to you and a celebrity.
Whoever the egghead character is, dude. The fucking...
No, Humpty Dumpty is one of them, but the main one is... the candy doesn't...
the egghead one, dude. The egghead character.
No, that's Humpty Dumpty. I'm talking about the peanut M&Ms. That's who you are. You're the yellow M&M.
The yellow M&M. It's an egghead. It looks like an egghead character. I don't have an egghead. I don't have an egghead, dude. Get out of here, dude. Get out of here. Fuck out of here, dude. I ain't got no egghead. You ugly son of a bitch. Motherfucker. Alright, here.
Tells in WWE again. That's crazy. I thought he was a TNA main writer. I know he got Austin. He gave Austin his name in the beginning, Stone Cold.
Yeah.
He's old as fuck. He looked like the biggest. So he's doing a racism gimmick now?
Yeah, it's like a anti-immigration type gimmick, dude. It's he looks like a scruff bag, to be honest with you. It looks like
Who does he represent? He can't be a wrestler, so who the fuck is he talking for?
Swagger, Jack Swagger.
Oh, yeah, the new Swagger, that's right.
Yeah. Well, Jack Swagger came out and he's got this scruffy new look with the way he does his hair now. You know what I mean?
And he's fatter too, supposedly, or something?
They're gonna do. They built up a storyline on Raw last night with him and Alberto Del Rio. So we had, a couple of weeks ago, we were wondering, Jack Swagger had been off TV. Are they gonna bring him back and basically make him another mid-card guy, which, the guy used to be a former world champion, and then he fell to mid-card status, and then, last night they teased a big angle with Alberto Del Rio. I know Del Rio's got the storyline right now with the Big Show, but it looks like Swagger's right there, dude. I mean, Del Rio's world champion right now, so they're putting him right back into the main event picture, So.
Yeah, and they gave him Dutch talk for him, and they repackaged him, so we'll see, how far it goes. But the fact that they're doing the racism angle right out the gate, and that's his new character, it's gonna pigeonhole him into a certain level of heel where he's only gonna get a certain kind of heat. The way like who the fuck, like Muhammad Hassan used to get, or Iron's Cheek, like they're gonna get that kind of heat.
You know what else? I think we're gonna run down Raw here in just a couple minutes. I think we just talked about him, about The Undertaker. I'm thinking Elimination Chamber this Sunday. If it's not at the pay-per-view, it'll be the following night on Raw. Paul Heyman, over and over and over during the opening Raw promo last night, kept saying, something bad's going to happen to you, Punk. Something bad's going to happen to you. And I think I think that bad thing is going to be Taker, either at the pay-per-view or on Raw, and then we're going to see Taker. I mean, it's been rumored for a long time, Taker versus CM Punk at WrestleMania. That's what I think.
Yeah, the last I heard was the debate is Taker wrestling or not, and then there's no concrete evidence to support it other than he looks like he's in really good shape and lost a lot of weight, looks like he's in ring shape, and there's talk of him and CM Punk, yeah. So and if they do a match, that's pretty much the only one I think they're going to do with Taker.
I think so.
So if they're going to do that, they'd have to start planting the seeds, like you said, this weekend or the following night on Raw.
I think we're going to see it, man. I think Taker's either coming back at the Elimination Chamber pay-per-view on Sunday or Monday night on Raw next week, and then they're gonna build, CM Punk versus Taker at WrestleMania. I think, but
yeah, I think that's what they're going to. I want to see how what do you think Taker will cost him the title and start at a Chamber? Because that doesn't seem like Taker, but.
Yeah.
I don't know. Like the way you tied it in with Heyman saying something bad's going to happen, it makes you expect something other than him just coming out on Raw and like looking up at the sign like he did with Triple H to signify, it's meeting you this year, motherfucker.
He just kept saying over and over, something bad's going to happen to you. I can tell, I can feel it. Something bad's going to happen.
And they had that weird stipulation where Rock can't get counted out, or if he gets counted out, like that's just weird. Like I don't see why they did that. I figured at first it was so the Shield could interfere, but then that would be a DQ, right? So then he would keep the title. So,
right. It's if The Rock gets disqualified or counted out, then that would be it. Those were the stipulations.
Yeah. I don't understand the storyline reason behind. Like, why would that be something they wanted? Did they even hint at why they wanted those two rules added to the match?
No, they didn't. So
why, if they paid him so much, why was he for it? Like, why did he go for it? It just seems weird to me.
That was Vince, dude. They did there was a backstage segment where Heyman was on the it was Vicky Guerrero. She got a phone call. Vince McMahon was on the other end. Heyman was like, give me the phone, I want to talk to Vince, and, they made the stipulation there, and then as, Heyman was basically saying, thank you, Vince, Heyman even said, I look at you, Vince, like a father figure, and as soon as he said that, how much does that kill Paul Heyman? I know it's creative, dude, I know it's a storyline, it's WWE, but that Paul Heyman, when he reads the creative script, that he's got to say, Vince McMahon, you're like a father figure to me. He's got to be rolling his eyes like, what the fuck, man? Are you kidding me right now? And then Vince wound up saying, shut up, and hung up the phone on him. So that was...
I only heard a couple of details. I heard the opening thing with Heyman was, like, amazing. Although I heard it was kind of...
Now this says, U.S. Marshals, the suspect tried to get out of the back of the door of the cabin, but was pushed back inside. So what? He started the fire and then tried to escape.
You're with the cabin again, dude.
Oh, we're not gonna listen. Before we go off the air here tonight, I want to know if this guy's alive or dead. I'm guessing he's dead, but I need to know. I've been following. You know how I get with news stories, man. There was that little boy that was under the. He was in the bunker. You know, and the guy held him captive for 10 days or 7 days or something like that. I follow these national... I need to know the details, you know? I'm a nerd like that. I'm a national news
You're a
nerd.
yenta. You're a fucking broad that watches news all day.
I'm kind of a
no,
nerd.
I was saying, I don't remember what the fuck I was saying. What were we talking? Hey, man, I heard the opening thing was awesome, but I heard at the end he did something so subtle and cool. Like, you know how we were saying, like, he would say something like, Vince, get out of here, or Brock, don't be like, he'll just throw in a little comment off mic. Like, he's not even on the microphone when he does it, but it adds, like, a level of awesomeness to the segment.
Right.
I heard Lesnar was going to go in the ring and do something. Or no, who was it?
Lesnar wasn't there. Yeah.
And Heyman was like standing behind him, and he's like, "I got your back," or something like.
Yeah, he did. He did.
He
said, "I got your back," and he did have his back because the Rock was taking him out, and then Heyman tripped up the Rock, and that led to a
Punk with the GT. Yeah.
Yeah, that's how it ended. We'll run down Monday Night Raw, the high points and the low points here in just a second. Let's get
That was the go home show, right? For the Chamber.
The who?
It was the go-home show for the Chamber, right? Raw last night?
Yeah, Sunday night is the Chamber pay-per-view, so good stuff,
Right.
All right, so here we go. Let's get the plugs out of the way. We're going to do rapid fire and your live phone calls here in hour numero dos. We got a poll up from last week. You know what? We took a poll, and I wanted to see, you know how WWE fans are these days, you know, Bruno Sammartino to the Hall of Fame. For people like me and you that have been watching wrestling for years and years and years, that's a big deal. That's a big deal to see Bruno Sammartino in the Hall of Fame. But you know how the new generation of WWE fans are, where they don't have any idea who the hell is Bruno Sammartino, right? So I put up.
That's one. Okay, go ahead.
I put up a poll. You know, Bruno Sammartino to the Hall of Fame, and there were three choices: awesome, could care less, or A. All right, like A, whatever, meh.
Yeah, like the Canadian.
Yeah. So we had 70% of the votes said awesome. So that's good news, right? That's good news that, you know, a lot of people respect what Bruno did back in the day. 18% said they could care less, and 12% said, meh, you know.
Yeah, I think the 70% are just bandwagon marks. Like, oh, we're supposed to know this is awesome. You know, I
Yeah.
90% of those 80 didn't even know who the fuck Bruno Sammartino was. But,
yeah.
Like I was going to say, when you started, you said it's a shame that, like, you know how with today's generation of fans, they don't even know how big of a deal Bruno Sammartino is, and the reason that is because WWE never acknowledged his contribution to the company. They acted like when they would talk about the history of their company, basically Bruno Sammartino didn't even exist. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like it's like his whole history is being erased. Now that he's agreed to go in the Hall of Fame, I heard they're going to do a DVD with him as well. So they're going to start to tell his story. He'll start to get acknowledged when they run down WWE's history lessons and shit on all these documentaries. So that's cool.
Right.
And maybe today's generation of fans will know who he is, because he is a huge deal. Like, anybody who knows how iconic Hulk Hogan is, or Stone Cold Steve Austin, you go by eras, right? Like, the current era, John Cena. Previous era was Stone Cold / The Rock. Previous era prior to that, Bret Hart / Shawn Michaels. Previous era prior to that, Hulk Hogan. Well, prior to Hulk Hogan, and, a couple of guys, it was really Bruno Sammartino for like 10, 20 years. He was the shit in New York. You know, he was the guy.
Yeah, and people don't go back that far. A lot of people don't go back that far. So, anyway, I gave you the results of the Bruno Sammartino poll. We'll do an easy one this week. We were just talking about it. Will The Undertaker face CM Punk at WrestleMania 21? We'll give you a yes or a no. You guys can go vote right now. I just put the poll up. Hopefully it goes through.
You go over to WZROnline.com, and in the top, I believe, right of the site, it'll ask you, like you said, Undertaker versus CM Punk at WrestleMania, yes or no? Go vote.
Go vote.
The results.
Yeah, we'll give the results. We'll give them at the end of the show tonight for you guys listening live, and then for anybody that listens to the archive, we'll come back next week. And before we add another new poll for the following week, we'll give you guys the final results. So I just put it up. It just went through. It's on the websites right now. Will The Undertaker face CM Punk at WrestleMania 29? WZROnline.com, like Boone said. It's on the right-hand side. Scroll down a little bit. You guys can find the poll. Go vote right now. We'll give the results right before we go off the air here tonight. WWE SmackDown is being taped tonight in Little Rock, Arkansas. So it shouldn't be that late of a night. I think they may be on a 1-hour delay, maybe not even a delay. I'm not sure how it works down in Little Rock, Arkansas. But anyways,
over there in Smallstone, Arkansas.
A little bit of Arkansas.
You gotta change Little Rock to Smallstone, and then instead of Arkansas, you say Arkansas. And then you throw the accent on. Over there in Smallstone, Arkansas, is that what's going on?
Alistar Overeem.
Alistar Overstream, that motherfucker got knocked the fuck out. I still haven't seen that clip.
Yeah,
I want to
man.
see it so bad.
That was crazy. That was definitely crazy.
I don't even know what it looks like, man. Did he get knocked the fuck out, or was it like a TKO?
Well, that was a good knockout, man. Bigfoot Silva's, he's a beast, bro. I won money off that. I told you that last week, man. I won some money off that fight.
That's right, yeah.
So anyway,
that was a dumb bet, too.
Real quick before we move on, advertising rates. I like what I'm seeing, man. I like what I'm seeing. It's going up as we go through the month.
Thank
here,
God.
so.
I had just talked to a colleague of ours. You know him. His initials are MS, and
yes, sir.
multiple sclerosis.
I've been talking to him today. To be honest with you, we've had a fairly decent conversation today, man.
Get the fuck out of here.
Get the fuck out of here.
Knew how big of a deal that actually was. But no, yeah, he was backing everything you set up. He's like, yeah, he's like, every year the first quarter rates suck. He's like, but this year is worse than normal. He's like, I think they're just now starting to bounce back and blah. Because I was telling him what you said. And I'm like, is that even true? Because like every year it's this, right? He's like, no, this year's worse, man. He's like, it's way worse this year.
Yeah, it got pretty bad last month, but it's good news this month, dude. I'll tell you what.
Thank God.
I had one advertising. I just checked right before we came out. I shouldn't say this on it. I'm gonna say it anyway, because I can brag about it a little bit.
Every time you say you should say something, that means you definitely should.
No, it's not a big deal. But I just went, I use like 6 or 7 different advertising companies because I got Pro Wrestling Scoops, I got WZR Online, and I switch them up. I use a bunch of different advertising. I got this one company, dude. $97 yesterday, bro. I made $97 in one day from one advertising.
Say the name.
I'm not saying the name, but I made $97 in one day from one advertising. And that doesn't include the other 6 of them, bro. It was fucking sick yesterday, man. It was awesome. It was awesome. Anyways, that's a rarity. Anyways, that won't happen for a while.
I was saying that's probably not going to be every day. I don't think.
No, there was a Burger King ad that was running, and it took up 100% of the fill rate yesterday, which was sick, bro. It just ran all day long.
I love when they have those one special kind of ads that are like $3 CPM, but they run like
That's what it was yesterday, bro. I had this one. It was a Burger King ad, dude. And it was 100% fill rate, and it just ran all day for 24 hours, and then it disappeared this morning.
They bought out the day on that company.
Yeah. Well, they bought out the day. They basically said, I want to advertise on ProWrestlingScoops.com for the entire day.
Well, yeah, they go to their advertiser, and they see the list of sites they have. They look at the demographics and the audience and the ages and all that shit, and they say, all right, I want to buy out all the inventory on these sites. These dates. I guess they picked you.
Yeah, it was a good day yesterday. So anyways, if you guys want t-shirts, here we go. Go ahead, make a little joke, dude. Get your joke in.
I'll keep.
Get your little joke in. Anyways, if you guys want t-shirts, you can email me, webmaster@ProWrestlingScoops.com, webmaster@ProWrestlingScoops.com. It's $20 for you guys in America. It's $25 for you guys in the United Kingdom, only because of the shipping cost. I make about $1.20 off each t-shirt, so
yeah, so
whatever.
He's got about $3.75 so far, and we would love to sell
There it is. I knew it was coming, dude. You had to get some sort of joke in there, you motherfucker. Anyways, the official website of WZR Radio, WZROnline.com. We're on Facebook, Twitter, and YouTube. Facebook.com/WZR Army. Let's go to WZROnline.com. Top navigation bar, social media tab, little drop-down menu. You can go to Facebook, Twitter, and YouTube. Like them. Friend them, do what you gotta do. WZROnline.com, the official home of WZR Radio. Check out our live chat room. Lots and lots of people in there as always tonight. How can you get there? WZROnline.com /chat. WZROnline.com/chat. You like that? I got that down, right? Check out the official website at WZR Radio, WZR Online. You know what I'm saying? I got it down.
Oh, yeah. Eventually it becomes like total routine to do all those commercial plugs, but people don't realize to make them a routine takes a couple shows, man. Like to try and, A, memorize all those words. B, memorize the transitions into them.
Right.
C, memorize the opening and close, D, wait for me to come in with my little comment. It took about a year to get that plugged the way it is right now.
It is beautiful the way it is right now, though, dude. Flows, you know what I mean? There's no stuttering. There's nothing. Man, it flows, you know?
I always try and, patch, holes up. When we first start trying to set a structure, I'll just throw a dumb fucking line in there. Like, when we used to do the wrestling answer, taking the wrestling world by storm, I just started making wind sounds with my mouth. I just come up with, .com, whatever the fuck it is, Flash.
Yeah.
I try and find something. So we'll come up with some new shit soon.
All right, so check it out. Here we go. Monday Night Raw. There were no pay-per-views. We're going to try to give you guys some Elimination Chamber predictions, probably in hour number 2, along with the rapid-fire segment and the live phone calls. But Monday Night Raw from last night, man. We kicked it off. Paul Heyman sent out a tout video earlier in the day. Basically said he was going to kick off Raw with a major announcement or an earth-shattering announcement, something like that. Wait a minute. No updates. No updates on the cabin. It's still on fire.
You got a cabin fever.
Anyways, so Paul Heyman comes out, right? He opens up the show, and the big news is today is going to be his last day with WWE, and the reason for that is Vince McMahon is out to get him. He feels that Paul Heyman was behind the whole backstage video that they aired a couple of weeks ago with the Shield and Brad Maddox, and he's paying off the Shield, and Vince believes that it's him, and it is him. Obviously, we've seen him clear as day in the video. So he does this long speech, about ECW and Brock Lesnar and CM Punk, and this is it, man. He's done. He's walking away. He's submitting his resignation tonight. So CM Punk, this man right here. Oh man. Play this in the background when we talk? Let's do that. So CM Punk comes out, right? And he basically convinces Paul Heyman to stay with WWE. He needs him. He wants him by his side on Sunday, and and eventually, just like that, right? Punk comes out and he says, "Yeah, I need you, dude. I need you on Sunday for the Elimination Chamber." And Paul Heyman agrees. He says, "All right."
It was weird about that. We got to stick to everything. We're still in the storyline, so going with the storyline explanation that these guys are very close friends and manager and employee, you know what I mean? Don't you think this would be a conversation they would have before live television that, hey, by the way, I'm quitting, I'm retiring, you don't have a manager anymore? You know what I mean? Like, oh, shit, he's quitting in the ring right now. Let me go out there and try and stop him. Hey, man, I need you. Okay, I'll stay. All right.
That's what it was, too. He came out, yeah, I'm quitting, and Punk comes out, oh, come on, dude, I need you. Oh, all right, dude, you need me? All right, I'll stay. No problem, dude. It's just, it was awkward, dude. It was weird, and then they hugged it out, dude. They killed 20
minutes of TV with it, and I'm sure it was probably one of the best 20-minute segments of the show, I'm sure, even if it didn't make any sense.
Well, right, you've got Heyman and Punk out there, so it's gold on the microphone, pretty much.
You let Heyman talk for 10 minutes plus, you can't go wrong.
But like I said earlier, man, Heyman kept, during this promo, and even when CM Punk came out there, he kept hinting, dude, and it was over, and it wasn't just a one-off deal, man. He kept hinting over and over that something bad is about to happen to CM Punk, and the way that he kept, reinforcing it over and over, something bad's gonna happen, something bad. I'm telling you, man, it's got to be Taker. It's got to be Taker that comes back. We had
my brain's already settled on that. It's gonna be Taker, but what could it be that he's referring to? Something bad. So that's where my brain's going, and I can't think of shit. So I'm interested to see what they do with it.
We had Mark Henry and the Great Khali. They had a match. It was built up as two mega beasts in the ring, right? Mark Henry, Great Khali.
I kicked both their ass in 2 seconds.
You kick everybody's ass in 2 seconds. That's twice in 1 hour. We're doing good. We're monitoring it. We're monitoring. Yeah, it's good tonight, dude. It's good. I think we had like 6 times in like 40 minutes or something last week. So we're limiting. We're doing good tonight. Anyway, so it was
I tried to cut back last week, but you said you got to cut back even more. I thought 6
No,
times
you didn't.
20 minutes.
You didn't try to cut back. It was in the first 40 minutes of the show, right? There were 6 times, and you said, "All right, I'll cut back." And then as soon as we came into hour number 2, you were gone anyway. You weren't even here, so there was no way for you to cut back.
Yeah, I kicked the phone's ass in 2 seconds, and the phone stopped working.
Is that what it was? That's
what happened, yeah.
I gotcha.
That phone will fucking think for them to talk back to me, motherfucker.
Yeah. So anyway,
that's his job.
it was basically the phone doesn't talk. You talk into the phone, but The phone doesn't
Sure.
talk back to you. Anyways, so Kali got squashed here. Mark Henry took him out, world's strongest slam, and then he leaves the ring, and then he comes back in, and poor little Hornswoggle is in there. He's checking on the great Kali. You've got Natalia and Hornswoggle who come out with Kali. That's the new thing. The three of them come out. So poor little Horny's in there, and he's tending to Kali, and up from behind comes Mark Henry. Gave the poor little man the world's strongest slam. That was nasty, bro. It looked brutal. Poor little guy, World's strongest slam, Mark Henry. Fuck him. All right. So, anyways, and Natalia just disappeared, man. She was gone. So, Hornswoggle's just out there. Kali's laid out, Hornswoggle's laid out, and Natalia just bounced out. They announced that the main event for WWE main event tomorrow night, it's going to be Mark Henry against. Actually, no, this is the main event of SmackDown. A rematch from last week. It's going to be Mark Henry and Randy Orton. And like we said earlier, that show is being taped tonight in Little Rock, Arkansas. They announced that later tonight. We did say that earlier. SmackDown's being taped in Little Rock, Arkansas. What did we say?
You said it's being taped in Small Stone, Arkansas. We clearly said that.
Yeah, you're right. Anyways, so they announced. So check this out. You've got John Cena, Sheamus, and Ryback, right? They announced last week or earlier in the week. They confirmed it on WWE.com. It's going to be those three guys, Cena, Sheamus, and Ryback, against The Shield at the Elimination Chamber pay-per-view. So in a tease for that match, we're going to have Cena, Ryback, and Sheamus team up tonight, and they're going to face 3MB. Wah, 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 wah.
You know what 3MB stands for?
3 megabytes. No, three
Mad Booms.
3 Mad Booms, 3-man band, 3 megabytes. Could stand for anything, So anyways,
3 mean bitches.
3 mean bitches. So anyway, they set that up for later tonight. Good lord, dude. But I guess there was a reason they did it. We'll get to it later. Backstage segment.
I don't know, this show is sounding boring as fuck just listening to it. I can't imagine if I had to watch it.
Who? WZR? Oh, Raw. I was going to say, we're killing it tonight. We sound good tonight.
No, we're not boring. Come on, man. I could be asleep right now and I'd be entertaining. What the fuck are we talking about?
Oh, Jesus. So we had a backstage segment. It was Teddy Long, Booker T. They're backstage with Chris Jericho. Jericho wants in the Elimination Chamber. He's been a world champion 6 times, so he wants in the match, right? Booker eventually agrees, but in order for him to qualify for the match, he's going to have to defeat somebody that's already in the match, and that's Daniel Bryan. So, on paper, you're thinking Daniel Bryan, Chris Jericho, great match, right? We're going to see that later tonight on Monday Night Raw. Backstage segment, we talked about this earlier, man. Paul Heyman's backstage with Vicky Guerrero. The phone rings. Vince McMahon's on the other end. He gets what he wants. Vince tells him, all right, you'll get your stipulation, if The Rock's disqualified or counted out, he loses the title. CM Punk gets the title. Vince McMahon agrees to that, and eventually winds up hanging up on him. Then we go to a commercial break. We come back. It's Chris Jericho and Daniel Bryan. Jericho won here clean with the code breaker. Both of them were faces, baby faces during the match. And they gave it a good 10 minutes, which is kind of a long match for Raw. And come on, man. Jericho, Daniel Bryan, of course it was a great match. It was not great.
I didn't even see it, and I will assume it is. I mean, Jericho's probably back into the swing of things by now. Daniel Bryan's one of the best in the world and has been for years.
Yeah.
I heard Jericho was fucking with his beard, too, calling him, like, Daniel Bearden or something like that.
Yeah, during the promo. Yeah. And even during the match, the announcers were on Daniel Bryan's beard as well. So we had that. So basically, up until this point, we had Daniel Bryan was in the chamber along with Randy Orton, Mark Henry, and Jericho, right? Rey Mysterio is not in the match. He wasn't on Raw last night. He's out dealing with personal issues. So he's not in the match. So we've got one more spot that remains for the SmackDown Elimination Chamber match. Then, talked about this earlier, they had announced that John Cena, Sheamus, and Ryback were going to take on the team of 3MB. This is pretty much a squash, although the finish was kind of cool. Basically, Cena hit the Attitude Adjustment, Ryback hit the Shell Shock, and Sheamus hit the White Noise. So, it was Cena taking out, who was it? Cena took out Cena took out Jinder Mahal, Ryback took out Heath Slater, and Sheamus hit the white noise on McIntyre. And then after the match, all three of them did a promo. And there's a trend here. We'll come back to this later, but this trend, Ryback said a few words, about feed me more, satisfying his appetite, blah, 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 blah. Sheamus and John Cena cut a brief promo as well. Cena was booed out of the building, dude, and of course that's not what they want. You've got the Shield being the heels, and then you've got Cena, Sheamus, and Ryback being the baby faces. And
yeah, but come on, they're not surprised by that reaction.
Of course, no.
Maybe they want them to be cheered, but it's not like they're like, oh my god, I can't believe they're booing him.
Right. We had Alex Riley and Yoshi Tatsu. They're backstage. They were making fun of the Big Show and what happened over on SmackDown. His tour bus got broken into. Del Rio, had the paint and everything else on SmackDown last week. So they're making fun of him. Big Show walks up and knocks them both out, right? So then we go to a commercial break, and Matt Striker is in the ring. Big Show comes out for an interview, and, Matt Striker started to say, hey, Big Show, I wanted to ask you, boom, hit the knockout punch and walked out, and that was
how many seconds do you think it would, like 2 seconds he knocked him out?
About 2 seconds. About 2 seconds.
That motherfucker better not be stealing my gimmick. I will whoop his 7-foot-ball ass off. Yeah. Swear to God, if I'm sitting in a black chair, I'm telling the truth.
Look at you. When you say, you heard? Oh, I heard. You heard? What are you, a gangster? Yeah.
I get a little ghetto when I'm talking shit. I remember the last time I got into an actual physical altercation, the last thing I was shouting at the guy, because we were yelling back and forth for like 10 minutes. I said, you want to say some shit or you want to do some shit? You want to say some shit or you want to do some shit? He's like, I'll see you at Kmart. I said, I'll be there. Click. And then he saw pictures of what happened.
Yeah. I remember, maybe I shouldn't bring this up. Fuck it. I'm going to bring it up anyway. I remember the one time, right? There was some black guys, alright? There was some black guys out on Dove Street in Albany when we used to live down there. Boone was all shit-faced one night. He's all shit-faced, and these black guys said something out the window. They screamed something out the window at Boone.
They were telling you to shut up, I think.
Telling you to shut up. You were being loud, and, it's the drunk Boone. So Boone starts yelling back.
Downtown Albany. Boone, right in the middle of the street.
Well, they started it, dude. They were yelling shit out the window. Shut up, da-da-da-da. So Boone starts yelling back, pick my cotton, motherfuckers! Pick my fucking cotton! He's screaming in the middle of the...
You know how incredibly racist that phrase is?
Oh, it's horrible. It's horrible.
I was blackout drunk at this point.
No, you were. That's why I didn't want to bring it up. Dude. But I went with it anyways. You said that whatever I don't want to bring up makes for great radio, so there you go, dude. I know, you are.
Story. Like, my initial reaction is like, well, let me prove I'm not a racist. And the only way I could prove it would be something, yeah, never mind.
Listen, anyways, dude, listen. Everybody knows, dude, that you're not racist. You've never said anything racist on this show or in real life around me, unless you're shit-faced drunk like that night. But they started it anyways, dude. You know what I mean? They were being dickheads anyways. But, so anyways, back to... I
ended up being best friends with that kid too, by the way.
You did. I forget his name. It wasn't the guy named Q. Aaron, that's what it was, the big guy.
Yeah, there was Aaron, there was Sykes, there was Q. You didn't go along with anything else.
No, but you did. I mean, when it was all said and done a couple of weeks later, because he had lived right across the street, and I think the next morning or 2 mornings later or something like that, you guys went out and said, I think you apologized and said, my bad, dude, I was shit-faced drunk, and you guys were fucking with me.
I was sitting on the stoop drinking beer like we always do, and he came over, and he's like, you're a crazy motherfucker. I'm like, man, I don't even know what the hell happened the other night. Yeah. He's like, you're psycho, man.
That's what it was. That's what it was with you, dude. You'd wake up the next morning like, what? Are you serious, bro? I said that, dude? Are you fucking kidding me? It was crazy. They all turned out to be good guys.
Big as a fucking house, too. Probably wasn't the smartest thing to be doing. But
no, he was definitely a big guy, and then it turned into you guys bumming it on the steps, drinking beer every night. That's what it turned into, dude. Because you found out you guys wound up.
The other cool thing was he had a Japanese wife, and he spoke Japanese, and this was back when Pride was still around.
Right.
So and I guess Japanese names, like, are words. Like, so I'd say, like, Kazushi Sakuraba or something. He'd tell me what Sakuraba means. You know what I mean? Like, he would know what the definitions of people's names were, because they're also words in Japan. Yeah, which was cool. But, yeah, anyway.
They all turned out to be really good guys anyways, dude. And then it turned into drinking on the steps with them bumming it on the steps on Dove Street. You know?
And we used to have, like, light-hearted UFC matches for that belt I had. Remember that belt?
Yep.
Yeah, we would have, it was no hitting in the face, but anything else that goes in UFC we would allow, and we had some matches for the belt.
They replayed the Bruno Sammartino, the Hall of Fame video package. Really well done video package. You got to see that.
Seen that.
Yeah. We had Jack Swagger defeated Zack Ryder. This is where Jack Swagger came out with Zeb Coulter is what they're referring to him as. I guess he had a gimmick back in the day, something about
Yeah,
Zeb.
he managed the Blues Brothers, Jacob and Eli Blue, who ended up being DOA and the Ron and Don Harris. Yeah.
Is that what it was? Yeah, he cut this anti-immigrant promo, dude. And like I talked about earlier, man, it was based around, Nightline did a special. So I'm telling you, somebody in WWE Creative definitely watched that Nightline special that aired on Saturday night or Sunday. Let me see if I can find the promo here. It's about 4 minutes long. Let me Oh.
You talking about the Dutch Mantel promo from Raw? The Nightline?
You know what? WWE copyrighted it, man. I had a YouTube video. I was going to put it up. Thank God I didn't post this. I had the posters all written up. I was going to put, it's right here. It says, video. Ex-TNA creative team writer returns on Raw. I actually have debuts on Raw, but that wouldn't be right. So, anyways, but I had a video. And it says, this video contains content from WWE. It is restricted on certain sites.
They had it taken down.
They had it taken down, so I've got to go find a new video for that. But anyways, he cut an anti-immigration promo after it was over. A lot of people were saying, it was racism, et cetera, et cetera. God, we're just on the subject of racism. What a lead-in, right? But no, he cut this anti-immigration promo, and he's good on the mic. He's great on the mic. But the gimmick that he's portraying is going to cause a lot of people to, how that stuff works. It's going to cause people to get into a big uproar and everything else.
Well, especially I don't know what he looks like now, but I'm picturing what I used to see him as. And that motherfucker got a big scruffy beard, looks like about as big a redneck as you could be, has the accent too, so he's what you would picture a racist looking like. So if he's doing a racist storyline, my God, people are gonna be up in arms probably.
The way you picture him is the same way he was on Raw last night. Scruffy, bum-looking motherfucker.
Looks like the dirtiest fucking southern, whatever.
Yeah. We had Dolph Ziggler, AJ Lee, and Big E Langston came out. It was good to see them, man. They weren't even at Monday Night Raw last week, or SmackDown for that matter last week. So they came out. Jack Swagger, by the way, is in the chamber match. So that would have been the final spot, but there's going to be a six-man added to the match. So Ziggler wants in the chamber, right? He cuts this promo, and he didn't want to be in the chamber a couple of weeks ago over on SmackDown. He said he's already got the Money in the Bank briefcase, so why does he need to be in the chamber? But now that Jericho is in the chamber, Ziggler wants in so that he can stop him from possibly winning it, and then he would have two future world title matches. So Booker T says later in the show, Dolph Ziggler is going to face Kane, and they'll get that final spot. So speaking of Jericho, on WWE Main Event this week, the highlight reel is going to be coming back with The Miz as Jericho's guest. Speaking of The Miz, we had The Miz defeated Cody Rhodes via disqualification. Antonio Cesaro was out on commentary. When he tried to get involved, Miz basically kicked him in the face when he tried to interfere. And then later in the match, after the match was over, Cesaro gave Miz a, what do they call it? It's like a giant swing,
Oh, fuck the equalizer.
Yeah, it was a nasty looking bump that sent Miz into the guardrail, so it was a pretty sick looking spot.
Maybe not. Are you talking about Cesaro's finisher?
Not the finisher. There was a spot on the outside where he sent.
Oh, okay. I don't know that.
He sent Miz into the guardrail. It was pretty nasty, man. We had Brodus Clay and Tenzai defeated Primo and Epico. Everybody came out. They were dancing at first, and then it was basically Primo and Epico got squashed out real quick, and then when it was all said and done.
What was the other tag team? Did you say Brodus Clay and Tenzai?
Yeah, they've been teaming up as of late.
Oh my God!
Well, they had a gimmick, or they had an angle on Raw a couple of weeks ago where Tenzai came out and he was in lingerie and he was dancing and everything else. So
it was the Vegas Raw, I think, right?
There's a text message. Did you hear that?
No, I didn't. My God, they put those two big fucking losers together. I bet that's what it was too. Like, well, these two guys, we have nothing fun. Just throw them in the tag team.
Hey, what happened here with CNN? What happened to my coverage? They're going to the to Obama's speech. Oh,
I don't
no.
know. Go on CNN.com during the commercial. You got fucking 3 minutes left, and you're talking about the stupid cabin again.
Well, we gave
Cabins
it.
suck. People in cabins
They
suck
don't.
worse.
HLN, is that where it's at? I have CNBC. Here it is. Associated Press. Single gunshot heard before cabin was engulfed. He shot himself. He shot himself.
Shit on fire?
No, I think when the cops threw in the grenades and everything else, it could have been from the gunfire or from the flash grenades. But it looks like the building caught on fire, and then he said, "All right, the building's on fire," and he shot himself. That's what.
Oh, so they were like trying to smoke him out, and he either had to fucking surrender or surrender for good.
Well, I'm surprised he didn't go out. I mean, if the guy had balls like he said he did, he would go out and say, "Suicide by cop. I'm going to try to take as many of you guys out as I can."
Yeah, but what if those cops shoot him in the leg or something, and they just fucking really hurt and in jail for the rest of his life?
Yeah, that's true, because if the cops...
You don't want to take that risk.
Right, if the cops didn't kill him, they could have taken him into custody, and then he's in jail for the rest of his life, and he would have gotten capital punishment, like, does California... Yeah, California's got the death penalty, so... If they didn't take him out with yeah, you're right, so that's why he shot himself, you're right. Anyways, we think, that's what the Associated Press says. So anyway,
No, you think, I don't give a shit.
You kind of do, dude. It's a good story. You know it's a good story. It's an entertaining...
I gotta say something, so I'm just throwing out my something I don't care about.
It's an entertaining story, and you were intrigued when we first came on air here tonight, and you even said, "Go ahead, run down the story, dude. I want to hear more." That's what you said when we first came on air. So you were intrigued.
I was probably only saying that to buy time to like fucking.
Oh, get out of here. So anyway, after the Brodus Clay Tensai, they defeated Primo and Epico. Everybody danced around after it was over. The Shield comes out, right? And this is where, earlier in the night you had Cena, Ryback, and Sheamus. They all got some promo time, right? Ryback grabbed the mic first, and then Sheamus grabbed the mic, and then Cena grabbed the mic. Well, the Shield came out, and they did this long interview where they kept passing the microphone back and forth. Like Roman Reigns would talk, and then Seth Rollins, and then Dean Ambrose. And then it would go back to Roman Reigns, etc., etc., etc. And they went back and forth, and it basically said, come Elimination Chamber this Sunday night, we're going to take you guys out. The lights eventually go out. So it was basically reversed psychology. You know what I'm saying? Big word for you, Boone.
What'd you say?
Reverse psychology here, dude. Where they came out, basically...
Oh, psychology was the big word?
Yes. And you skipped right over it, motherfucker. So anyway, no jokes, please, no jokes.
He says, the other day I was at the library reading an encyclopedia, big word, huh, man, encyclopedia.
Motherfucker. I hate it. I fucking hate this guy.
in Mississippi tonight, big word, huh, man, Mississippi.
You guys see what I deal with every Tuesday night? This scum fuck.
Dude, you could have got away with it too. I had set the phone down for a second, and I picked it back up, and I hear big word, huh? I said, what was it? He said psychology.
I fucking hate this guy. I hate him. I really do. I hate this guy. So listen, the Shield comes out, dude, and they cut this big promo, and eventually the lights go out, and it leads to a big old brawl. They fight through the crowd a little bit, and the Shield eventually runs off, and the crowd winds up chanting, "Feed me more." Ryback's in the audience, getting everybody feed me more. It was a good segment, dude. It did what it was supposed to.
The two questions I had about this is, does the Shield still come out through the crowd, and B, the six-man match for Chamber, that's not an actual Chamber match. That's just a six-man match at the pay-per-view?
Yes and no to your questions. First question, yes. Second question, no. So, but it was a good promo, and, it got over the fact that it was going to be a six-man, 3-on-3, six-man tag team match at the Elimination Chamber pay-per-view.
Is it an elimination match, like with the elimination rules, or just one pinfall ends it? Do we know?
Well, Boone, you just asked me two questions. Is an Elimination Chamber match was one of those questions, and I said the answer to your question was no.
It doesn't have to be, there's not enough chambers for two people. You know what I mean? I'm saying, is it an elimination rules match, or a regular match? It's,
I guess a regular match. I think they were originally going to do, it was going to be a second Elimination Chamber match, right? And even Ryback, sent out a tweet yesterday that says, we're going to take out the Shield in the Chamber match, and then he went and changed that tweet either late last night, during Raw, after Raw, one of the two, and he said it was going to be instead of in the chamber, it was going to be at the Elimination Chamber pay-per-view.
Yeah,
so.
pay-per-view. Yeah. Well, the problem as far as booking the match, having them in a chamber is it's every man for themselves. You know what I mean? You can't have a group like the Shield eliminating themselves, at a certain point. So they had to find a way around that.
Exactly.
Oh, other thing, before we go to break real quick. Who was added to the Hall of Fame? I have no idea.
Nobody last night. Nobody.
Really? I thought they added somebody else.
Well, they normally do, but there was no video. They aired the Bruno Sammartino video from last night, but there was nobody new added.
So far we have Mick Foley, Bruno Sammartino, Bob Backlund, Trish Stratus, correct?
Yes. Yep.
All right, so there should be still at least 4 more, I would think. 3 or 4 more.
I would say 6 or 7 total, right? Probably 6 or 7. I mean, I think Cyndi Lauper is going to be one. She'll be added for the Celebrity Wing in New York City, so she'll probably be one. And then I don't think we'll have a huge name, dude. I mean, it's pretty stacked right now. You've got basically 4 headliners: Bob Backlund, Trish Stratus, Bruno Sammartino, and Mick Foley.
They're all New York people too, except for Trish. Trish is Canadian, right. But if you look at Cyndi Lauper, like you said, she started all that New York WrestleMania, Madison Square Garden shit.
But don't you think that Mick Foley could be a headliner? Bruno Sammartino could be a headliner. Trish Stratus could be a headliner. Bob Backlund could be a headliner.
Trish is the only one that couldn't be a headliner. I feel like a women's version of a Hall of Fame induction ceremony. She'd be the headliner over everybody. But, yeah, Bob Backlund should be a headliner. He was one of the longest champions ever. Bruno was the longest champion ever.
I feel like,
Foley, come on, Foley.
Don't load it up right now because, for in the next 5 years, you're going to be out of big names, and you know what I'm saying, dude?
No, I'm agreeing with you. Yeah, I'm agreeing with you. Quite frankly, they only need 4 a year. I mean, they have so many that don't even go on TV, you know what I mean? Like, it's just like a dark match Hall of Fame induction and it's just a waste of a spot when they have so few spots and so few legends to fill those spots after years and years go by,
Right. All right, get to our live chat room, WZROnline.com. /chat, WZROnline.com/chat. We're going to take a quick commercial break. We're going to play 2 WWE themes for you. We'll come back on the flip side. We're going to be taking your live phone calls and the rapid fire segment as well.
So go post your rapid fire submission, question, comments, or whatever you want to talk about in hour number 2 at Facebook.com/Ryan Clark WZR. Once you get there, top post. We'll ask you for your rapid-fire questions or comments. Keep them brief, 1 line or less. This way we can get to as many as possible. Do not answer other people's questions. That's our job. Facebook.com/Ryan Clark, WZR.
You're listening to WZR Radio with Matt Boone. I'm Ryan Clark. We were just talking about John Cena. I'm going to put this right in your motherfucking faces. We'll be back right after this. And we're back, WZR Radio, here for hour numero dos. We're going to be taking your live phone calls, doing the rapid-fire segment. I'm still trying to find out the latest on Christopher Dorner, I believe his name is. The AP, like I said earlier, says that they heard a single gunshot right before the cabin started to burn. Other media outlets say that may not be the case, and they're still waiting until the cabin, till the smoke fades to find out if he is in the rubble or if he is not. But nonetheless, doesn't appear to be anything new since we came on the air here tonight. But I'm guessing that, there was no way. Cops had the shed or the cabin that he was in. They had it surrounded, so there was basically no way. They had him cornered, and I'm guessing they're going to find his body burnt out inside the cabin. But nonetheless, Matty Boone, we're here for hour numero dos.
Fucking pissed, man. I just realized
the fucking
I could have had like an extra 5-minute commercial break if I would have realized you were going to lead off with that stupid cabin shit, which I should have known.
Blah, 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 blah.
Yeah, it's like once the car starts moving, you can't pull over at the next rest stop for a fucking hour. It's terrible.
Blah, blah, blah.
That's not a good analogy?
It was a good analogy, dude. I was just kind of no-selling it,
Yeah, you gotta pee before you leave the house, and once fucking 8 o'clock hits, we're out of the house.
So, what's going on? Where you gotta poop before you come on for WZR Radio a couple of weeks ago, motherfucker. Guy, we're on here for 5 or 10 minutes,
well,
motherfucker.
Your body gets into regimens and routines. Like, it's almost a routine for me to take a shit at the commercial every week. Almost.
You know what? I gotta, right before we go live every week, I gotta pee, dude. It's like, I gotta pee every 10 minutes. I don't get nervous, man, but it's something. I don't know what it is, man. I gotta pee before I come on WZR.
Well, you know what it could be? You talked about it on air, I guess. okay to talk about it, because you're not doing that stuff anymore that you used to do, right?
No.
That's one of the side effects. I don't know if you noticed, when you do that stuff, it's very hard to piss or to finish, if you know what I'm saying.
Yes,
and
yes,
that's
yes.
opposite when you don't have it, yeah.
So here comes President Obama. He's walking his way out for the inaugural, or not the inaugural, the State of the Union address that he's going to give. So we're competing with him for hour number 2. You know, I was thinking about this earlier, and this goes back to the
Barack Obama's ass
no.
in 2 seconds.
This is the thing. You know that Obama, kind of like last year, right before his State of the Union address, you know, he comes out and he says, "We got him, Obama, he's dead," right?
Yeah.
You know damn well that he wanted to come out and open up tonight's State of the Address where he says, "We got him," and talking about the LAPD. He would have mentioned it, no doubt about it. He would have, because it's a national manhunt, dude.
Well, I'm sure he still will mention it, but there's nowhere. How could you compare that to catching a
No, he's not. He won't. He will not. He will not mention it one bit because they don't know. They don't have a body yet, so he can't come out and say, "Oh yeah, you know, the guy's dead," unless he has absolute confirmation that the dude is dead. He can't mention that.
No, but
There's no way.
I'm saying I didn't say he would say that. I said he would reference the story. I'm sure. I mean, I'm sure it's big enough that he'll say like the thing, like we strive to protect our citizens. Like the current incident going on in Los Angeles, like some kind of small reference like that. I could see that. He'll have to at least acknowledge it, I would think, if it's as big as a story as you say it is. But come on, to say that's like him wanting to say I caught Osama bin Laden. Osama bin Laden almost fucking was the collapse of our entire country. This fucking guy killed 2 cops in Los Angeles. It's not even comparable.
I said, "Oh Lord Jesus, it's a fire." Then I ran out. I didn't grab no shoes or nothing, Jesus. I ran for my life. And then the smoke got me. I got bronchitis. Ain't nobody got time for that.
According to the department manager, the
Ain't nobody got time for that,
I was like,
motherfucker.
what is that? I was like waiting for the punchline.
I fucking love it. Yeah, she is great, dude. Ain't nobody got time for that. Ain't nobody got
I still
time.
haven't seen the original. I have to check that out when I get on my
I
internet.
woke up to go get me a cold pop. And I thought somebody was barbecuing. I said, "Oh Lord Jesus,
There's a fire.
Then I ran out. I didn't grab no shoes or nothing.
Nothing.
Jesus. Praying for my life. And then the smoke got me. I got
Bronchitis.
Ain't nobody got time for that.
I love it,
Dude,
dude.
by itself, it sucks, but that song is awesome. Ain't nobody got time for that. Where's the song at, dude?
Ain't nobody got time for that. Ain't nobody got time for that. Ain't nobody got time for that. Ain't nobody got time. Ain't nobody got time. Ain't nobody got time for that. Ain't nobody got time for that.
Nope.
Ain't nobody got time for that.
Nope.
Ain't nobody got time. Ain't nobody got time. Ain't nobody got time for that. Well, I woke up to go give me a cold
Pop.
Then I thought somebody was barbecuing.
Barbecuing.
I said, "Oh Lord Jesus, it's a fire."
Bronchitis.
I ran for my life. Ain't nobody got time for that. Ain't nobody got time. Ain't nobody got time. Ain't nobody got time for that.
Nobody got time for that.
That's fucking amazing. That's the best
Dude,
video
you know
ever.
what's amazing about it?
What?
It burns time without us having to do any work, man. You should keep playing that fucking song over.
You
and
know,
over again, brother.
you know what her name is? Her real life name? And you're gonna
Aretha.
die. Sweet Brown.
Sweet Brown?
Sweet Brown.
It can't be her.
I swear to God, bro. Her name is Sweet Brown.
Yeah, you show me a birth certificate that says Sweet Brown,
Hey.
and I'll shit out a Sweet Brown chunk in my shorts.
All right, let's finish up Monday Night Raw here real quick. We're almost to the end of this shindig, and then we'll get into your rapid fire questions and your live phone calls as well. I also want to touch on.
Man, ain't
I
nobody
also-
got time for that. Ain't
Yeah.
nobody got time. Ain't nobody got time. Ain't nobody got time for that.
We also got to talk about the Olympics and pro wrestling as well. So I want to touch base on that real quick. Damian Sandow came out, did an interview, basically ripped on Nashville and country music, basically told everybody to go and listen to Beethoven and Mozart instead of, country crap where people are. And I agree with him. I'd rather listen to Beethoven or Mozart than
Me too.
people,
Mhm.
my tractor breaking down and woo, woo,
Oh,
woo.
I'll put a quarter in the jukebox and drink me a tall, cold beer.
Nah, it's always about the John Deere tractors and the drinking the whiskey, dude. That's all country
And the
music
boots,
is.
And the boots, and the cowboy hat, and the jukebox, in the local tavern. There's all kinds of similar shit in every song. Sad and depressing and shit. Get the fuck out of here. It's not music.
Now look at this. Cam in the chat room says, I'm very disappointed in this episode of WZR. Goodbye. And he signed out of the chat. What?
Fuck out of here.
What? Come on now, man.
Ain't nobody got time for your ass anyway, you punk bitch. Play that shit.
Ain't nobody got time for... I don't have it up, man, but if I did...
Perfect.
That's no good. Boo to Cam, right? Get out of here, Cam. We don't want you here anyway.
There's a lot of positives to looking at the chat during the show. I love it personally because I can tell when I'm doing something good, I'll do more of it or whatever, you know. Just like our bullshit feedback speech we give every week. But
yeah.
When it's something bad, even if like 99% of it's good, if you see that one fucking bad comment like the one you just read, that's the one you focus on, and you can't get back on track. That's the bad thing about reading the chat room. You get totally distracted with it.
No, but I mean, come on, bro. The majority, 99% of people. I mean, listen, I understand some people have kids and, you know, they've got their kids in the background and sometimes we cuss a little bit, you know what I'm saying? But we're not a G-rated show. We're not a PG-rated show. We're an R-rated show. We always have been. And listen, if you've got kids, man, put on a headset, you know, so they don't have to hear it our voices come out of your speakers, or listen to the archive when the kids aren't around, you know what I'm saying? I think we're entertaining as hell, man. I think we come on here every Tuesday night, we're entertaining, and we mix it up, dude. It's not all about pro wrestling. There's other stuff involved, too.
Beast. I guarantee you that's the guy in the chat's the beast, because I can tell this, to me, is a fucking great show, because, and it's sad that I can always do the same mathematical equation. I can say, how much did we spend talking about fucking what happened on Raw?
Yeah.
Because everybody already seen it. We're just we're reading a fucking report and adding our opinions to something that everybody already watched. And not just that they already watched it, they just watched it last night.
Sometimes.
You know what I mean? And they read about what happened today afterwards. So it's like pointless. But we spent half the fucking show on it. I can tell when we only spend 10, 20 minutes on Raw that we're doing a good show, because that means we got so much other shit just naturally coming up that we're talking about that's, you know, eating up time.
Yeah, of course. You know what I'm saying? And you know what else I'm saying, Boone? You know what else I'm saying?
No, let me say it. Let me say it.
All right.
Is that a different one?
No, it's the same one. Let's finish up Monday Night Raw from last night. We had so Damian Sandow, he comes out, he cuts this promo, right, and then Del Rio comes out and basically taps him out with an armbar in about a minute or less. Then he cuts a promo after the match, said that Big Show's interview earlier was the greatest he's ever done in his career, basically because he didn't say a word, right? So he says that Big Show can take his tour bus and go anywhere he wants after this Sunday's Elimination Chamber pay-per-view. Big Show can go ride his bus anywhere he wants because Del Rio is going to WrestleMania. And then he points to the sign. There was a backstage segment. It was Bo Dallas attacked Wade Barrett. Then we come back from commercial. Wade Barrett defeated Kofi Kingston. Kane defeated Dolph Ziggler. This was, like we talked about earlier, for the final spot in the Elimination Chamber pay-per-view. This was an alright match. Big E Langston, AJ Lee, and Ziggler, they got involved towards the end. Basically, Ziggler accidentally backed into AJ, and while he was checking on her, Kane came up from behind, hit the choke slam, and got the pin. And then the final segment was the promo. They hyped it up all night long. The Rock was going to be in the building tonight. The Rock comes out, like you talked about earlier. He tells a story, about going to high school back in his day in Nashville. He wasn't getting any action, so he started hanging out at the bar. He made a reference to Jeff Jarrett here. Hold on a minute. All right.
Heard that one.
Made a reference to Jeff Jarrett, talked about, going down to the bar, meeting up with a crackhead. The crackhead sold him a car. The moral of the story is don't buy cars from crackheads is pretty much, what he was trying to sell. He said that he worked at the Nashville Fairgrounds, where TNA was working in their early days. He worked there for $40 a night, became WWE champion. Punk eventually comes out. Rock rips him, dude, and basically says, come on down to the ring, bring it. Punk goes towards the ring.
Like a little vampire or something?
Something, dude. Challenged him, right then and there. Punk starts walking to the ring with Heyman, turns around, but then eventually goes back into the ring, and, that's where Heyman said, I got your back, dude, I got your back. So they square off in the ring. Rock gets the upper hand as Rock's about to go for the people's elbow. Paul Heyman, jumps in, trips him up, and that led to a GTS by CM Punk. Rock was left laying in the ring as Monday Night Raw went off the air, and you know how that works. The guy that is on the losing end going into the pay-per-view normally winds up winning at the pay-per-view. So CM Punk was on top going out on Monday Night Raw last night. Rock retains the title at the Elimination Chamber.
I was going to say, I don't need wrestling booking 101 to know Rock's not dropping the title in his first offense after 7 years of not holding it. But, what was I going to say? The Rock promo. This was the go-home show for the Elimination Chamber, right? Okay, final match before WrestleMania. Big deal. His entire promo did it have anything to do with CM Punk at all? He's buying a car from crackheads who used to live in Nashville. It sounds like every time he comes back, it's like, hey everybody, this is how much I love wrestling. My grandfather used to be a wrestler. My daddy used to be a wrestler. You know, I had $15 when I was 12 years old in Nashville, and I became world champion. Like, what the fuck does that have to do with why are we going to pay to see you beat up CM Punk this Sunday? Because you bought a car from a crackhead 30 years ago? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, why does that make me want to watch this match? It has nothing to do with it.
Man, I need to get it to the point where it's like, ain't nobody got time.
You got it on pause or something, because that doesn't sound right at all.
I need the spot, you know. But for next week, dude, I'll bring it up and I'll get that spot where it's like, ain't nobody got time for that, so I can just keep going back to it. You know what I'm saying? Anyways,
trouble hitting that spot, huh?
Yeah, well, I just don't know where it is. You know, to get the fuck out of here, dude. That was a good little joke. Took me a minute to catch on, but it was a good one.
I can't believe your response actually was, I don't know where it is.
That was a good one, dude. Took me a second to catch on, motherfucker. Get to our live chat room, WZROnline.com. /chat, WZROnline.com/chat. Get there, lots and lots of good people in there as always tonight. We're gonna get into the rapid fire segment here in just a minute. We're also gonna be taking your live phone calls 518-712-3070, 518-712-3070. So that was Monday Night Raw from last night. It wasn't the greatest show, but it wasn't a horrible show either. You know, the booking with like Ryback, Sheamus, and Cena against 3MB could have done without that. But I thought the Shield promo was great. I thought the Rock's promo.
Well, that was to establish them as a unit going. You know, they had to have some kind of camaraderie as a team.
Right.
But I was going to say, I need two school-letter grades from you. One, just a generic, regular, weekly, how was Raw scoring? And the second one would be as a build-up show. You know, the final show for the pay-per-view. How was it? You know,
I agree with Robbie, aka Crazy Roller. I give it a solid C+ for the show itself. But for the go home,
now building the pay-per-view.
Right, for the go-home show, I thought they did a good job building the pay-per-view, especially with the Shield, Cena, Ryback, and Sheamus. That was well done. CM Punk and The Rock, I mean, you had The Rock close the show, and you had CM Punk and Paul Heyman open the show. And those are the two main matches, pretty much. The SmackDown Elimination Chamber match, you know, throughout the show you had matches where people were basically qualifying to get into the chamber. So
not only that, but building storylines for once the chamber closed. Like, they have built-in storylines already, like Ziggler, Jericho, who are some of the other people in the match. They all got their own history, you know what I mean? So it'll be interesting to throw all that into one fucking match.
No, so for the show overall, a C+, but as far as the build for the actual pay-per-view, I mean, the top three matches, throughout the show, they were hyping, so I'd say a solid B for the go-home show. You know what I mean? But as far as... Yeah, it wasn't...
Now, before you do rapid-fire calls, we got to talk about this Olympic thing, dude. What the fuck happened?
Yeah, it's crazy. It caught everybody, off guard when it came out this morning. Basically, the IOC came out, the Olympic Committee came out this morning, and the spokesperson by the name of Mark Adams said this is a process of renewing and renovating the program for the Olympics. In the view of the executive board, this was the best program for the Olympic Games in 2020. It's not a case of what's wrong with wrestling. It's what's right with the other 25 core sports. So basically, you're going to have, table tennis, ping pong. You're going to have the sport where they jump on the trampolines, like Kurt Angle said earlier. They've got bowling. And the problem here is, ever since the Olympics debuted years and years ago, back in the Greek days, the Stone Age, pretty much, pro wrestling, thousands of years ago, pro wrestling or wrestling was one of the main featured sports. And you're taking one of the original Olympic sports
and you're ditching it in place of sports that have been added in recent years, and it just doesn't make any sense whatsoever. I mean, you've at least got to stick with what the original Olympics were from back in the day.
Well, to me, it's a very simple issue. What is the entire theme of the Olympics? It's to find the best athlete in the world
right.
at a sport, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. What is a more universal sport? Because the Olympics is an international competition, so it's got to be something that every country understands. That's why baseball isn't really an Olympics, because nobody gives a shit about baseball except us. American football,
right.
nobody gives a shit about that except us. You know what I mean? So that's why they're not big Olympic sports.
Mm-hmm.
But what is more universally understood than wrestling? Two guys physically trying to dominate the other person. You know what I mean? To understand ping pong, or you got to learn all these rules, and it's a game. It's not a sport. You're telling me you got to be a good athlete to be the best ping pong player in the world? I mean, you might have to have a strong forearm, but other than that,
well, and there's
how do you need to be an athlete to play table tennis?
There's bowling, and there's synchronized swimming and things of that nature.
There's a thing where you slide down a fucking hill on a sled and then you shoot a gun. I think that's one of the Winter Olympics fucking things. Like, it's retarded. How is that?
They've got
more appropriate than wrestling?
They've got the curling, right? I like the curling though. I mean, that's caught on in recent years, but I mean, to drop wrestling, if you're gonna drop anything, not pro wrestling, you're going back to the original Olympics thousands of years ago, man, in the Greek ages. You know what I mean? It just doesn't make any sense whatsoever. And there has been just an absolute uproar about this, man. Everybody's throwing a fit, and you know what? There's a very slim chance that it would come back, but there has been such an uproar about this today on social media. TNA even came out and issued a press release today, telling everybody to go on Twitter.
Kurt Angle was part of that, right?
Kurt Angle did an interview with Angle was on SportsCenter earlier today. Did an interview with them. There was also an article on ImpactWrestling.com. I mean, it just makes no sense. And I feel like there's been such an uproar today via social media and online and just all over the world that they're going to have to rethink this. The Olympic Committee is going to have to rethink this. And I'll be honest with you, I know the news broke today, and wrestling's canceled. It's not going to be in the Olympics starting in 2020, I believe it is. So it's 2 Olympics from now, because it's every 4 years they do the Summer Olympics, or is it the Winter Olympics? You think is it the Winter?
Summer Olympics every 4 years.
Summer, right. But I feel like there's been such an uproar that I think we're going to wrestling's still going to be in the Olympics, and I think we're going to see that decision overturned. What do you think?
I hope so, but I don't. Like I said, I got limited access to information where I am currently. But wasn't it voted on? Like it was like whoever gets the least amount of votes for it was between amateur wrestling. Did they give it like all of it, like freestyle, Greco, all that shit? Like,
it was the decision was made by a secret ballot that was took place on Tuesday earlier today.
Who was involved in the ballot? Who could vote? Was it like a committee member?
Members of the Olympic Committee, man. They are the ones that vote.
They already made up their mind. I mean, it would take one hell of an appeal for them to overturn that, and because to overturn it, they have to get rid of something else instead, I would think.
Oh yeah, no. I mean, but there's been such an uproar, and I feel like they're gonna have to rethink this decision. And there are other sports that definitely should be dropped, far ahead of pro wrestling. You know what I mean? They're just
no. I know what you're saying, but you worded it wrong. Because they're not sports. There's other competitions that should be eliminated. Fucking ping pong's not a sport. You don't need to be an athlete to be a ping pong player. My fucking little nephew could play ping pong, but I guarantee he couldn't beat me in wrestling.
Yeah, but I gotta be honest with you. Have you ever watched the ping pong players, man? They are nasty, bro.
It is crazy.
They are
Forrest Gump style of shit where they're standing 10 feet away from the table, but they're still fucking nailing the shit out of it.
Dude, they are so quick, bro. They're so fast, and you're like, holy shit, dude, how the fuck? You know what I mean, dude? It's crazy. It's entertaining. I agree.
An athlete, you require speed, strength, stamina. Those would be the main 3. And I would say you really don't need any of those to be a great ping pong player. You need speed. You need speed, dude. Not only that, but I think your arm's gonna get tired after a while, dude. Going back and forth like that, dude. Come on, bro. Come on. Obviously, dude. You do anything for a long time, it's gonna be tiring. I'm saying, compared to amateur wrestling, who do you think is a better athlete? Somebody who can hit a ball on a table, or somebody who can defend themselves against a human being trying to beat the fuck out of them.
Oh, I agree. I agree with you. Of course, pro wrestling. Of course, wrestling. You know what I mean, dude?
Not pro wrestling. But that's the sad thing, too, is that the avenue for amateur wrestlers back in the day used to be, okay, we'll try and win an Olympic gold medal. After that, there is no pro wrestling. It's not like, all right, now I get to go on to this. So UFC kind of became the thing, or WWE kind of became the thing. But now that there's no Olympic gold medal for the actual competitors to strive for, there's no reason to enter amateur wrestling anymore. So it's going to kill a lot of the amateur wrestling programs in the country, especially in some of the some of the big colleges that are known for wrestling, like fucking like Iowa or fucking Ohio, you know, little shit fucking country towns that produce good wrestlers.
Right. Hey, here's a random bit, right? The $1 million belt from back in the day, Ted DiBiase. How much do you think? How much do you think that belt, the value of the title belt when it was created? How much do you think it was worth?
They used to say, I remember hearing it somewhere too, and it's nowhere near what you'd think it would be, but
WWE.com has an article with Ted DiBiase Sr. right now, and he reveals the value. So
yeah, they used to say it, blank dollars and diamonds and gold. I don't know if that was a gimmick though. I'll say $250,000, 250,000.
Ooh, 40,000.
That's it. Yeah. So yeah. I remember it was nowhere near what you would think, but they used to say, "What I hold in my hands, is like $1,000 of diamonds and gold."
Yeah.
Just remember that as a kid, but yeah.
You guys, let me give these guys WWE main event spoilers. There was a dark match. It was Kofi Kingston defeated Corey Graves. He's been on the road with WWE. He's a guy from NXT. And then for main event, they kicked it off. It was the highlight reel, Chris Jericho's highlight reel. Starts out by saying The Miz was injured on Raw via the Antonio Cesaro attack, and that is why Alberto Del Rio is the new highlight reel guest. So once again, this is a case of WWE. People say all the time, man, and they yell at us and scream at us when they say, you know, what do you mean creative plans are always changing? They hype up last night on Raw that The Miz is going to be the guest, right? And then they get to the TV tapings today and they say, you know what, we're not going to have The Miz anymore. We're going to do it with Alberto Del Rio, and we'll come up with a storyline that The Miz is injured and he's not going to be here. So with that change of plans, Del Rio comes out. He's the guest. The whole highlight reel, you know, the whole setup is in the ring. They replay footage of the Cesaro attack. Ricardo Rodriguez comes out, takes over the microphone. He introduces Del Rio, comes out to a huge pop. He brings up the period, you know, Del Rio's period of wrestling in Mexico, and says that he's going to win the Elimination Chamber and then go on to face Alberto Del Rio. They had a funny back and forth, and they went in Spanish. Jericho was talking a little bit of Spanish. Dolph Ziggler's music eventually hit here, and you know, Jericho starts trashing Biggie Langston, comes up with a bunch of new names for him. Ziggler promises to cash in the Money in the Bank briefcase sometime between now and WrestleMania, which is a big hint for the Elimination Chamber. We'll have to wait and see. Del Rio challenges Ziggler to a match. The crowd chants CCC, and Ziggler accepts. That leads us right into Alberto Del Rio and Dolph Ziggler. They have a match. Del Rio winds up winning. Match started out slow. They wound up having a really good match. Del Rio called for the cross arm breaker that he does. AJ Lee distracts the referee. Biggie Langston hits Del Rio with a punch. Ricardo Rodriguez gets involved as well. Del Rio eventually applies the cross arm breaker for the submission in a really, really long match. They had then there was a backstage segment with Paul Heyman and Matt Striker. Heyman held up the WWE title and said that he is indeed the voice of the voiceless. It's the same thing talking to him as it is talking to CM Punk, and basically rehashed what they said on Raw last night, that if The Rock is disqualified or counted out, the title goes to CM Punk. So that's WWE main event for tomorrow night. Seems like a pretty good show, to be honest with you. But there you go. Get to our live chat room, WZROnline.com/chat. We're going to jump into the rapid fire segment right now. You guys can call us up at 518-712-3070. 518-712-3070. Caller, you're live on WZR Radio. What's up?
It was really good. What's going on, guys?
What's going on, brother?
Good, man. It's real cold and freezing here in the Bronx, New York, but That's all it is.
Yeah, did you,
35 degrees out here.
Oh, man.
Real cold.
Yeah, it's even worse up here in Albany, bro. We're a little bit colder than you guys up north here. Did you guys get a lot of snow or no?
What was that?
Did you get a lot of snow the other day or no?
Yeah, we did, this past week. It was rough.
Yeah, no doubt. I know there people were bitching and moaning about no plows and everything else. That was a big
I
storm.
don't want to interrupt all the fun here, but I'm wearing shorts and I'm about to go turn my air conditioner up. What were you guys talking about?
So what do you want to talk about, man?
Yeah, man, I got a few things to talk about. I was watching actually yesterday. You familiar with this guy, Mike Rosenberg, like a big DJ in Hot 97 here in New York? He interviews a bunch of WWE wrestlers. He brings them over every time they're in town.
Yep.
Well, he had the Big Show the other day, and he asked him a question about Hogan, if he thought that we were going to see Hogan wrestle at WrestleMania 30, that if it would surprise him that Hogan was back, and he said no, that anything can happen. Do you think that will actually happen, that Hogan will come back for WrestleMania 30?
Yeah, Hogan's been all over Twitter and recent media, kind of teasing an in-ring return. Said that he had surgery by some new doctors, and he feels much better than he did before. His back feels much better, but it may just be Hogan being Hogan. And right now, I mean, Hogan's under contract with TNA. How long do they keep him around?
He's part owner, dude.
Yeah, if he's still under contract with TNA, and like Boone said, he's part owner, he's not going to be going back to WWE unless something happens, between now and then. But I mean, Hogan wrestling another match, yeah, I don't know. I mean, who cares? I mean, even if Hogan were to come back and wrestle another match, the guy can barely walk as it is. So who wants
it would
to
be
see?
Completely pointless, especially after surgery. Surgery's supposed to fix what's hurting. Like, there's no match he could do in TNA, maybe even in WWE, that would draw money. The only match left that would draw money is Hogan Austin.
Who wants to?
So you guys don't think that a match between him and Cena, or him and this guy, him and Jericho or whatever, for like a WrestleMania, you don't think that will sell?
No. People would get interested in watching it, but I mean, the people that know Hogan and that have seen him recently in TNA, I mean, the guy can barely walk, so let alone having a match. I mean, yeah, it's gonna be shit, man. No, I don't want to see Hogan wrestle. I mean,
that's what I was saying was there's no match he could do in TNA that would sell. Him against anybody at a WrestleMania would be a big deal, obviously.
But it's nobody.
The other thing that I wanted to jump out real quick is I've seen also an interview with Bruno Sammartino on YouTube. It's like a new interview, and they interviewing him, and he's talking about the Hall of Fame, how the guys only get paid like $5,000 and blah blah blah, and all of this and that, and that he was also talking about the steroids and all that other shit. Bruno, did you? Okay, go ahead. Yeah. Judging on the price of the hefty price that they have to pay him, because I'm pretty sure that he's gonna get a lot more money than all the other executives, because if not, he would have not went for it. Do you think that when he's trying to induct the Warrior, he's gonna go and make a crazy demand just like Sammartino did? You think that's gonna increase the chances of guys getting a bigger payoff than just $5,000?
Oh yeah, no doubt about it. I mean, Sammartino is going to get like the caller said, he's going to get way more money than anybody else, than a Trish Stratus or a Bob Backlund or somebody like that. Same thing with Ward.
It's not even funny how much more he's going to get. He's going to get, it's like a whole separate deal, because like I said, he signed basically to be an employee of the company. He's going to get the Legends contract, he's going to get the DVD they're going to make, which he'll get back end on. He'll get a huge upfront fee, way more than they give most people for the Hall of Fame and shit like that. And like he said, there was some other things, conditions he had, like their drug testing that he wanted. His guy took over, like a friend of his, so he was happy with that. He was happy that the product was PG now. So like everything that he was always had a beef with had changed, and they offered him a shitload of money, and that's why he took it. But WWE really wanted him. I don't think they give a shit about Ultimate Warrior enough to pay him like a giant amount of money just to put him in the Hall of Fame. You know what I mean?
Oh. Warrior's a different story, just because of the constant heat and I mean the Bruno Sammartino, the demands, they did everything possible to try to get him.
But
like
that's because exactly their Hall of Fame wouldn't be complete without Bruno. It would be like a joke. Like how could you have a Hall of Fame and not have Bruno in it? But Ultimate Warrior, you could have a Hall of Fame without him in it just fine.
Yeah, they're not gonna go all out with Warrior, like Boone says. They're doing a WWE film based on Bruno too. That was part of the deal too, Boone. So. I didn't know that. Yeah, in addition to the DVDs and everything else. Caller, you're live on WZR Radio. What's up?
Yes, I have just two quick questions. The Rock is pretty much scheduled to be until WrestleMania, right?
Right.
Okay, so therefore he'd probably lose a belt either to CM Punk this weekend or John Cena at WrestleMania.
It'll be WrestleMania. He won't. Mark my words. He won't lose the. Like Boone said earlier.
First, I listen to you now, motherfucker. Mark my words.
No, you're right. First WWE title defense. He's not going to lose the title at the Elimination Chamber, but he's leaving after WrestleMania, so obviously they're going to have to get the belt off him, probably to John Cena, just due to the fact that he's leaving. So.
Yeah, that's what I thought. The second question would be The Miz, the fact that he's off now from main event and that thing, and plus yesterday when he got his ass kicked by Cesaro with that bat swing, do you think this is punishment after what he did unintentionally to CM Punk and Saturday in Springfield, Missouri when he dropped him on his head?
It's a good point you bring up. It's a very good point.
I heard about that. Did you see that spot when Punk got dropped on his head?
No, it was at a house show. There's been no video.
I didn't know if any footage came out.
Yeah, there's been no video, but yeah, it's a really good point that the caller brings up as far as possible heat. I mean, the last we heard there wasn't very much heat on him, but then they had him destroyed on Raw and then took him off the highlight reel segment on Main Event this week. So we'll have to wait and see what happens here in the coming weeks. Whether
did he get in trouble like a year ago for dropping somebody on their head too, like R-Truth or fucking Alex Riley or somebody?
He's always had issues where he's obnoxious, man, and you can see that in interviews and media interviews that he does. He's an obnoxious type of guy, and that sometimes that doesn't go over very well with some of the veterans in the locker room, and there's always been
I was thinking of when Kofi Kingston kicked the shit out of him. I just remembered there was another spot that went way wrong with Miz earlier this year, or recently. That was it. Never mind.
Yeah. All right, let's go through some of these rapid fire questions. You guys can also call us up during this segment. It's 518-712-3070. Ranjit Kahal. I'm not sure if you noticed, but when Punk Heyman hugged last night on Raw, there was the look in Punk's eyes, foreshadowing of some sort. That's what I was thinking. Whether it be, maybe Paul Heyman screwing CM Punk out of the WWE title this Sunday, or a Taker return. Maybe Heyman siding with Taker. There's something up with Heyman where he said something bad is going to happen to you. So now that Brock Lesnar is back, maybe we were talking about it a couple weeks ago. Is Paul Heyman going to be there to basically manage both Brock Lesnar and CM Punk? I wouldn't be surprised if Heyman screws over Punk, and that's the way that The Rock would retain the WWE title.
No.
Paul Heyman screws over CM Punk. Why does CM Punk doesn't need Paul Heyman as a mouthpiece, right? He doesn't need him. And now that Brock Lesnar's back, and that Heyman's going to be alongside Brock Lesnar going into WrestleMania for promos and everything else, why have Heyman still alongside CM Punk? It doesn't make any sense. The way to get rid of that and to have The Rock retain the WWE title going into WrestleMania is to have Heyman do something at the Elimination Chamber pay-per-view.
Well, that brings up one question, because that's not the way to do it, unless you have a way to fix this problem, which will come from that series of events, and that is CM Punk becomes a babyface under the circumstances. You don't want him going into the babyface against The Undertaker with a streak. So how do you solve that problem? How do you keep him? How do you keep his heat? If you have Heyman screw him over and The Rock retain, obviously the initial reaction of the fans would be sympathy for him, and then to get behind him again and rally behind him to get his revenge.
No, I mean CM Punk. Listen, The Rock's going to get the pop anyways. When he retains the WWE title at the Elimination Chamber paper, he's going to get that pop anyways. You follow it up the following night on Raw, CM Punk still comes out as a heel. You know, CM Punk's still a heel, dude, the following night on Raw. You don't have to automatically turn a babyface, and The Rock's still going to get that pop when he wins the title.
No, that's not you're turning a babyface. I'm saying I think the fans will turn a babyface if you screw them over to you know what I mean? Like, I just don't see that. They already want to cheer him as it is. He's doing everything in his power, and you need Heyman standing within 3 feet of him to get booed every week, or he'll get cheered, or mixed reaction. He can't keep his heat if you take the one thing giving him heat away, and given that you got screwed over right before WrestleMania, storyline.
I guess, but by that logic, fans already want to cheer CM Punk, so if Paul Heyman winds up screwing him over, everybody cheers, or everybody gets pissed off anyways, If Paul Heyman screws him over, everybody says, what the fuck, dude? CM Punk will be about to win the WWE title. Everybody's popping. Paul Heyman screws him over, automatic heat, and then The Rock wins, and you get that pop again. So it would go from...
automatic heat on Heyman, not Punk. They're not mad at Punk because Heyman screwed him over. They're mad at Heyman. They feel sorry for Punk because he got screwed, and that's not what you want when you have him going against The Undertaker and The Streak and all this and that. You want to have Punk look invincible, which is another situation. How do you get around that? He's going to lose the second pay-per-view in a row now, but we're supposed to believe that he's the guy that's going to end The Undertaker's streak coming off of 2 losses. You know what I mean? Like, there's all these weird tangents that they don't seem to have covered, and that is probably because they book so last minute and they change their mind so often that they don't have a nice arc where a storyline starts here, ends here, and hits every point in the middle that it's supposed to.
Caller, you're live on WZR Radio. What's up?
Hey, I just want to know, what are your thoughts on TNA going on the road this weekend, and what do you think about the Ace and Eight having so many members in the group?
Well, the Aces and Eights storyline is like the old school NWO where you've got the half the locker room, you know what I mean? Where more and more members are winding up joining this group, And as far as Impact on the road, I think it's great. The Impact Zone, Tara, TNA Knockout, Victoria Tara, she recently said in an interview, the Impact Zone gets stale after a while. It's the same crowd. There's not a lot of reaction. So they actually had to open up more seats in Chicago because tickets were selling so well. So it's good news. You're going to have, look at Impact now. They taped 4 weeks worth of Impact a couple of weeks ago, last month in the United Kingdom. Look at that crowd when you watch Impact. It makes for a much better show when you have a better crowd, or a bigger crowd, or a crowd that's more lively.
More enthusiastic crowd,
Yeah. So it's good news. It's definitely good news. Brandon Parker, Alex Riley was seen getting KO'd from the Big Show on Raw. What exactly is the dirt on Riley and why he's been in the doghouse for a while? There was a story where Alex Riley, somebody was ribbing him backstage, and he spoke up and threw a fit. It didn't go over well. I think it might have been the Big Show that, was ribbing him. He spoke up. He didn't take too kind for it. Basically, if you're a new guy and you're just coming into the WWE locker room, it's a given. You're going to get ribbed around. People are going to fuck with you. And the best way to deal with it is just suck it up, man. Alex Riley said something that really pissed somebody off, and he's been in the doghouse ever since. I've been saying, and I saw him last night on Raw, that guy has all the potential in the world, man. He could be a big thing in WWE, and he's getting fucked over left and right. I can't stand it, man. I am huge on Alex Riley and think he could be a big deal. But
I remember you were really, really big on him like a year or two ago already now, when he had the program with The Miz, when you're like, dude, this guy's star in the making, and then just it took a left turn with him, and we haven't even seen him since.
It did. Alex Riley, I'm telling you, bro, the guy can cut a promo, man. Even just look at his reactions last night during that backstage segment where he was back there talking with Yoshi Tatsu. Just look at his facial expressions and the way that he comes across in his delivery as far as microphone skills are concerned. The guy's got it, man. He's not the greatest in-ring worker, but man, I'm telling you, that guy could be a star, and I hate to see him be jobbed out like this, Robert Singh, what is your ideal WrestleMania? Come on, bro. I can't run down a card for you. You know what I mean? I'd have to think about that, dude. I can't do that off the top of my head.
You can't off the top of your head give you a perfect card, otherwise,
Jesse Young, could we see Orton win the Chamber and then Dolph cash in? Well, Dolph Ziggler came out on WWE Main Event. We just read off the spoilers for you guys, and he says that sometime between now and WrestleMania he's going to cash in. So it's coming. It's coming soon. You know, I mean, he doesn't have to. He has until what? The Money in the Bank pay-per-view itself, where he won the briefcase last year, like a caller brought up a couple of weeks ago. But
Yeah.
Chase Kramer, when are you switching to YouTube for the video stream? I'm not sure, man. I got to talk to Daniel, our archive guy, about that. Hopefully sooner than later, though. I want to get off Justin.tv or whatever the hell we're on right now. Brad Festucia, Ziggler to cash in Money in the Bank after the world title match. Jericho to win the Elimination Chamber. What are your thoughts on Jericho versus Ziggler match for the WWE or for the world title at WrestleMania? Jericho Ziggler on paper, great match.
Great match on paper. Promos would be good. If it was for the world title, it would seem important, which would elevate Ziggler and make him a bigger star. When it's all said and done, it's all good, but are they going to do that? I don't think so.
Vinny Hernandez, what is the dirtiest thing you do to Trish Stratus?
The dirtiest thing I would do to her?
Hmm.
Oh, God, my brain's going everywhere right now.
See, I'm not into... Here's the deal. I would bang her, you know what I mean? But I'm not like... You see some of these... I don't know. You see some of these porn videos, right? Where people are licking each other's assholes. It's nasty. When somebody's sticking a dick up somebody's ass. I'm not putting my dick in no girl's ass. I'm sorry, I'm not doing the ass
You ever
thing.
tried it?
I've never tried it, and I'll never
Me
do
neither.
it. It's nasty, bro. I think it's nasty, bro. Shit comes out of that ass. So I'm not sticking a dick up anybody's asshole. All right, I'm not doing that. So I'm not. You know, I don't do.
There's plenty of other shit you could do. You could just take a dump on her if you want. You know, and they said the nastiest thing you could think of.
I don't. I mean, pissing or taking a shit on a hot girl. That's nasty. You know what I mean?
Joking, dude. It's nasty. Exactly. I like what Vince did to her, which was make her get down in her underwear and then crawl around and bark like a dog. I thought that was hot as shit back in the day.
Yeah, there you go. I'd make her bark like a dog, like Vince did. You know what I mean? I'd do that. Make her get on her knees and bark like a dog. I'm not into fucking crazy...
I'd like to see that again. Try that.
Crazy sexual weird shit, dude. I'm not into that shit. Nick Dodge, what are your views towards the Aces and Eights TNA storyline? Talked about this a little bit earlier, man. I mean, what do you think, Boone? It's basically like half the roster, half the TNA roster is joining this Aces and Eights group.
It's a shitty NWO. It's the same two people who came up with the NWO trying to do it 20 years later. It's not going to work. They got lucky that it worked in the first place. It's all a lap. It's not like they designed it that way. And the second they realized they had something, they fucked it up. So how are they going to recreate it and make it right this time? They're not. It's basically a shitty version of the NWO or even a shitty version of the Shield right now.
Caller, you're live on WZR Radio. What's up?
Hey, this is Nitro Bro, man. What's going on, man? I missed y'all.
Yeah, what's up, buddy?
Not much, man. I haven't heard from you in a few months.
Well, where you been? Where you been, dude? We're here every Tuesday
He's
night.
in the American Gladiators. His name's Nitro. You just heard the man. Come on.
Hey now. Listen, I got a question for you.
All right.
I know I haven't been here for a while, but hey, we all know that John Cena is going to beat The Rock for WWE title. The question I have for you is, who do you think John Cena should drop the title to?
Why do you sound so different, man? You sound There's something about your voice. So it's either you're either fucked up right now or you hit puberty. Something, bro. What's you don't sound
no,
this.
Actually, no. Actually, what happened is that I haven't. I've been listening to all your protocols and everything else online, and on time I'm at work.
All right.
I'm always at work, so I listen to y'all when I get off from work. So it's very rare I get this day off.
All right. No, you just
it's
sound
very rare.
All right, you sounded different, dude. No, it's like you don't sound the same. That's that Nitro guy that used to call us up, man, all the time. You remember him, right?
Not at all.
No. All right. What was the question? I forgot the question. Boom.
He said, who do you think Cena should drop the title to when he wins it from The Rock?
Oh, when he wins it from The Rock after WrestleMania, who should he drop it to? I don't know.
It depends on what's going on at that particular time with the storylines. But I would say maybe try and get Ziggler over finally, or like try and get somebody like a new guy over.
Yeah. All right, let's rip through these real quick, man, because we only got 6 minutes to go. Brandon Parker, Orton going to TNA. Apparently, Dixie Carter stated that a WWE talent will be slithering and ready to strike in May. Here's the deal, Brandon Parker. I put this up on my Facebook. The Bleacher Report came out, and they linked a Facebook page of Dixie Carter, and she basically teased that Randy Orton was going to slither his way into TNA. If the Bleacher Report, which is not a source, by the way, I can't stress that enough, if they did any research whatsoever, the Facebook page that they linked, it's not even Dixie Carter's real Facebook page, man.
That's what I don't understand. We don't talk a lot about who are sources and who aren't, but my God, I see this Bleacher Report get credentialed at UFCs. I see wrestling reporters taking shit they break, quote-unquote break, seriously. They make shit up. How the fuck do people start taking them serious?
You know what it is? It's a bunch of
They
random...
literally make shit up.
It's
like every time a big event's coming up. Like, oh, we are first to report that,
Bro,
Vince McMahon's going to die at WrestleMania this year, and...
It's a bunch of random fans, and they write blogs. And if you ever notice, the reports that they credit are our sites, man. I've
noticed that.
We've been linked. WZR Online's been linked. You know, it says WZROnline.com is reporting. It's a bunch of fans that write blogs, man. It's not even a real Facebook account, man. So, and the article's since been pulled. The Bleacher Report pulled the article, issued no apology whatsoever, didn't admit they were wrong, nothing, man. So, I mean, that goes to show.
Me off when sites like that get credibility, and they're like, I've heard Howard Stern reference the Bleacher Report. I've seen it referenced on TMZ, and it's a fucking fake piece of shit site.
So Justin Nestor came on here last week, right? And you were gone, but he had submitted a rapid fire question, and he says, I could kick Boone's ass in 2 seconds.
Did he say that?
That's what he said.
Tell him to bring 10 grand and a video camera to Tampa, Florida, and we'll see if he can.
There's the answer to your question, Justin. Daryl Laravere, if you were both booking WrestleMania, what would you want the set card as? Man, again, I can't. Listen, dude, why
don't we think about it, and then like next week, like dedicate a segment to like WrestleMania fantasy booking or something like that. You know, because we're never off the top of our head going to be able to answer questions like that, and they're going to be coming more and more as WrestleMania gets closer.
Right. Brandon Scott Brown, do you think the Clique will be inducted into the WWE Hall of Fame this year because it's in Madison Square Garden, and that's where the famous curtain call was?
That'd be a weird reason to induct him, because there was supposedly like this anti-wrestling blasphemy kind of thing to do. To reward them for it now, you know, even though it became historical.
Right.
They do it. Yeah, they did the Four Horsemen, so they do groups. The Clique was never really a group.
Yeah.
It was a behind-the-scenes group. But maybe DX one year? I don't know.
Paul Adrian, what is your opinion on me beating up Matt Boone? Boy, they're trying to get you riled up tonight, brother.
Well, I'm clearly joking. I mean, anybody who's seen a picture now, a fucking 6'2" skinny piece of shit, you know, I mean, I can get mean and drunk and I'll fight anybody, but I'm a tough guy. I'm just joking.
Mario Castrodale. What's the deal with MVP and Shelton Benjamin make possible returns to WWE? There were Shelton Benjamin was at one point confirmed for the Royal Rumble. They wound up taking him off. MVP as of right now is happy overseas in Japan, and they were only being talked about not for TV returns, and I think that's what people forget, man. They were being talked about to help train younger guys, which probably means that they would be sent down to NXT. There's a bunch of guys down there right now. Billy Gunn's down there, Jamie Noble, you know, ex-stars that are helping these new guys. So that was the deal with Shelton, MVP, and, you know, guys like that. So.
That's a damn shame, because I'd like to see a Shelton Benjamin, Kofi Kingston program. I remember back in the old Money in the Bank ladder matches, Shelton Benjamin was always the guy that could, like, in a single leap, land on top of the ladder, like these crazy athletic things. And now Kofi Kingston's the guy that does that.
Yeah.
It'd be cool to see them have a match, especially with a ladder or something.
But you know,
fly around like
Shelton would come back and everybody would be like, oh shit, Shelton's back. And then a couple weeks later, he's a mid-card guy and nobody gives a fuck anymore. You know?
Absolutely, yeah. But just to see that match once. The same reason I want to see Sin Cara and Mysterio. The same reason, you know, back in the day it was cool to see the Giant versus Kevin Nash or whoever, you know.
Brandon Scott Brown, who do you think will be the leader of the Aces and Eights? I think it'll be Jeff Jarrett. It's possible. Nobody knows. I don't know.
Could be. Yeah, I don't know.
Lee Pierce, are the Road Warriors in the WWE Hall of Fame? Yes.
Yeah, I know. I remember one of them was. Yeah, I guess I inducted them both, and this the one that was bad. Yeah.
Danielle Smith. Oh, she's answering other people. Jorge Cortez, is Bret Hart underappreciated in WWE? Yes.
Right now, or historically speaking?
He doesn't say.
I'd say historically speaking, he's undervalued, underappreciated what he did because he kept them alive when they really could have died. Today, I mean, I don't know why should we appreciate what he's doing now? He doesn't do anything.
Paul Adrian, Ryan Clark, do you even lift, bro? No. I don't work out. I don't do anything. I'm lazy.
I do.
Hussein Al Salameh, will taking wrestling out of the Olympics affect pro wrestling? No.
I didn't hear you. What did you say? The fucking baby screaming. I'm trying so hard not
Will taking wrestling out of the Olympics affect pro wrestling? No.
I mean, no, not really. I mean, you're not going to get a Kurt Angle, 20 years from now, or another Brock Lesnar, but
they scout. I mean,
they come along anyway.
I mean, WWE scouts Olympic wrestlers, but they can still go to the college. They have the NCAA where they scout talent.
That's what I'm saying. With no Olympics, there will be less and less legitimate college level wrestlers, especially really good ones, because there's nothing for them to win anymore.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Vinny Mo, what do you think Vince McMahon's reaction was when Rock mentioned Jeff Jarrett? I think he lost his shit. I'm sure he wasn't that happy that he brought up Jeff Jarrett's name.
No, that's one of the guys that has a permanent ban, and that was before he started TNA too. So you can imagine how much they hate him now. But
I'm sure.
I bet that raised some eyebrows. No
I'm sure Vince is pretty ticked off, but it's also The Rock, and I don't think he's going to say anything to him once he got backstage.
Yeah, he can do whatever he wants. I mean, the guy just cut a fucking 20-minute go-home promo about his 15-year-old experience with crackheads, and it had nothing to do with anything. And that was his final promo for the pay-per-view.
Lee Pierce, question for Matt Boone. What ECW pay-per-view did Dudley Boys nearly cause a riot? I think it was November.
He-Wave 99.
Is that what it was?
I'm going to say.
Rob Saval, Taker Punk for WrestleMania is good, but what about Punk turning on Heyman and feuding with Lesnar? That seems more likely given how they
That
zoom.
would be awesome.
Yeah, that would be good. A Punk versus Lesnar feud, yeah.
Especially with the Heyman storyline already built in. I mean, we know they're doing Triple H Lesnar too, but Punk versus Lesnar with Heyman in the middle, that would be fucking great. That build-up would be awesome.
Charles Bum, what if cat really spelled dog?
That's a fucking great question. I mean, you just blew my mind, brother. We should go out on that one.
No, but if you spell dog backwards, it spells God.
Ain't nobody got time for that, dude. Come on.
If you spell dad backwards, it spells dad. If you spell mom backwards, it spells mom. Randy, no. Randy,
Bob.
Bob spelled backwards spells Bob.
Yeah.
Randy the DJ, tit spelled backwards. Tit spelled backwards, but if you put the S on.
Boob?
Boop, same thing.
Is it a coincidence that both words for titties are spelled the same front and back? I think not.
Randy the DJ. Answering other people's questions. Scott Neal, what are your views on wrestling being taken out of the Olympics? Talked about that. Tyler Padia, Ryan Boone, what would you guys have the main event be for Lockdown? It's interesting they're not going to do all cage matches this year, but probably Lethal Lockdown. Have Lethal Lockdown, main event. Scott Neal, are the Lockdown rumors true about it not being an all cage pay-per-view anymore? Yes. Frankie Kazarian came out and confirmed that. Brock Flucker, I'll kick Boone's ass in 1.5 seconds.
He's quicker than 2. Motherfucker.
Vince Nugent, did you guys watch the Ultimate Fighter 17 show from this past week? No, but somebody brought that up to me the other day and said, you gotta check it out, dude. You gotta check it out.
I forgot about it. I've only seen the first half of the first episode. I haven't been able to watch the last 2. God damn it.
Paul Adrian, again, my beer bottle was going in Boone's ass.
Alrighty then.
Paul Adrian again. Ryan, who the hell are the Buffalo Bills? Fuck you. Tyler Padia, will there be any jumps from WWE to TNA or vice versa? You never know. Contracts expire and people want to.
Maybe after WrestleMania when they do spring cleaning, some of those guys turn up in TNA. I don't know if that's considered jumping though.
Daniel Hetfield, Hutsby, Funaki is a special guest yet? Nope, not yet. Ty, you know who can shuck and jive better than you or Boone? Nobody. Cornelius.
Dusty Rhodes was pretty fucking good at that shucking and jiving back in the day.
Yeah, but not better than me and you. So.
No, nobody's better.
Cornelius Frederick Jones, jumping to TNA, let the war begin. Again, if TNA wrestlers would have jumped ship and don't mind being jobbed out to Hornswoggle for a good 3 Mondays in a row, then go ahead. You're absolutely right. TNA guys come over to WWE, they're jobbed out, you know. Colin Gidarkis, Ryan, are you on the list, bro? I'm always on the list. First class, VIP, baby. That's it. We're out of here. We're done. We're running late. We're 5 minutes late. Submit feedback. Boom. Where can they submit feedback?
We want your feedback over at Facebook.com/Ryan Clark WZR. Once you get that top post, we'll ask you for your feedback on tonight's show. If you thought it was good, let us know what was good about it, you see, because then we'll do more of it. If you thought it was bad, you see, you let us know that too. This way we'll do less of it.
There you
We're
go.
going to make the show more and more perfect for you, week in, week out. Facebook.com/Ryan Clark WZR.
That's it. And don't be lazy. Get your asses to Facebook. Go submit feedback, please. Oh, poll results real quick. We asked you guys CM Punk versus The Undertaker at WrestleMania 29. Is it going to happen? Yes or no? The results. I will vote right now. The results. I'm going to say yes, it will happen. The current results are 68% say yes, 32% say no in favor of CM Punk versus The Undertaker at WrestleMania 29. We're running late. We're out of here. Full Matt Boone.
That's me.
And this is Ryan Clark.
Hey, that's him.
Saying see you next Tuesday night, 8 to 10 Eastern Time on WZROnline.com.